Previously on Long Live the Silverblades, we find ourselves just outside the city of New Thur. Garwin, our large gourmand and food connoisseur, crests the hill overlooking the city. A beautiful town, rebuilt following the destruction with the War of Mephistophelion. Flowing fields of hops and Garlandian tallgrass surround the walled city, with each of its 5 boroughs partitioned by short walls within. Garwin sees nothing but opportunity ahead as he carries his rolling kitchen behind him down the slight slope into New Thur. Jard, on the other hand, sees nothing but a rotten bed attached to an aged and crumbling cobblestone wall. His cell is dark, dank, and barren. He sits and stares at the quote-unquote food that was just delivered to him, a bowl of putrid mess and a husked-out bread loaf with a couple of maggots wriggling inside. Pushing the contents to the refuse hole of his cell, he can't help but hear the short laughs of his guard, a nearly 7-foot-tall bugbear, with an attitude that makes an angry bee's nest look like a comfortable pillow. Hollowing out the bread was a brilliant idea, if Mock must say so himself. This guy is in for a world of hurt when they try him. Impersonating a noble, forging documents, misrepresenting lineage. Man, oh man, is he gonna swing. But then again, so is my coin purse. This was a pretty easy collar, except for the small prick when he spooked. But it's okay. It's just a scratch, and it'll heal. It always does. Staring at her books and rescribing her chapters for the umpteenth time, Lemon's smile never seems to fade. Looking up from her studies, she notices another acolyte with a scroll in his hand and a rather dour look on his face. "Lumina?" he asks. "Yes," she chirps. "You have a task," he says glumly as he hands her a scroll. She opens it and begins to read it, as the grumpy acolyte turns and mumbles, "Rallis and Rhea be with you," as he exits the room. Heights never seemed to bother Aen, which was convenient as he surveyed the aqueduct that feeds fresh water to New Thur from the mountains. Checking his maps and the stonework along the structure, he was pleased to find everything was in order. As he finished his survey, he noticed on his way back a rather curious thing. Within the old, destroyed, and supposedly haunted district of Thur, there was a fountain that seemed to be flowing again. Being a member of the Watermasters Guild, he was fairly certain no water was connected to these parts. "Definitely gonna have to look into this when I get back," he says to himself as he makes a mental note. "Hey!" calls out Beatrice, his sister, who had been waiting for him to return. With whirs and clicks and clanks, she begins to move towards Aen, her clockwork leg moving with remarkable precision to keep her stride even. After a brief conversation about what Aen noticed, the duo set off to the Watermaster's Guild house to talk with the head watermaster. Lemon's task had brought her to and from the jails multiple times, at one point requiring the assistance of the father to allow her access. Finally, able to reach out and talk to Jard, Lemon informs our incarcerated hero that she is there to perform his last rites, and that he is to be put to death. A shocking sentence for such crimes, to be sure. Having not had a trial to defend himself, Jard protests and demands an arbiter be brought before him. Upon hearing this request, Mock grunts, pulls Lemon out of the room, and sends her to the only arbiters in the city, the local Silverblade Guild. Beatrice and Aen find themselves tasked with talking to the mayor about getting access to the old districts to investigate this newly flowing fountain that Aen discovered. Aen confirms with the Watermaster that he wants them to talk to the mayor, and awkwardly inquires about possible overtime. We now continue with our story. Long live the Silverblades.
We find ourselves several hours later. Bryce's character, Aen, and the wife's character, Beatrice, find themselves at the front steps to the mayor's abode, which is set in the High District, what's called the North District of the city. They're trying to get in, only to be rebuffed by the guards and told that the mayor is not currently seeing people at the moment, but he'll be willing to see people in the morning.
What if it's really important?
"You don't understand," says the tall, lanky guard in studded leather, long sword, and a kite shield on his back. He's not seeing anyone right now.
I don't think he understands.
To be honest,
He goes,
I don't know.
is it an emergency?
Could be.
Goes, then why don't you go and see the Silverblades? They handle emergencies.
I don't know if it's an emergency. We were just told, well,
And someone needs to find out where that water's coming from.
Goes, is this over a leak? He looks at
Well,
you.
We don't think the water in the city is important. And of course, we could just never come to the mayor with any of the water deal's problems. So sure, the aqueducts would fall apart and all of the water quality would get so low that everyone would get diseases.
I'm gonna
Of
have
course,
you ask
it's
you both
not
to
like-
leave.
Yeah,
He says, and he steps back through the grate or the gate that's the outer area of the mayor's abode and
Oh.
closes the gate.
I suppose. I mean,
Why would they come to him with a leak?
that escalated quickly. I don't know why.
Sometimes people
Maybe
aren't
he
very
was
smart.
just a a-hole.
Well, let's go to the Silverblades. I mean, maybe they could at least help us. It's okay. We'll be fine.
It's not okay. It's really not.
The hustle and the bustle of the city is
I
behind
mean,
you.
I could get in a lot of trouble for this.
A small boy runs by
I
with
think that's
a
the
little
mayor's
fake
problem.
sword while you're talking.
How is it the mayor's
He goes, ha! Die, Mephistophelion! Die! Die! As he runs
Come
by
on.
playing pretend. His friend running, screaming, going, I'm not the demon god! In the background. As they're playing Heroes and Demons. In the background as they run across the street. Meanwhile, you're selling your wares, seeing these two strange people. One lady has like a robotic leg.
Hmm.
I use the word robotic. You don't know what that means. Clockwork.
Clockwork, yes.
That's interesting to you. You're an
Yes, it is.
engineer.
Yes, it is.
She's discussing someone who looks like they could be related. They're discussing some sort of matter.
Also, the
You-
Silverblades are getting it.
You have moved your cart out of the actual bazaar area because it was too busy.
Mhm.
So you're selling in the high district now. You take your 2 silver from a man as you hand him his food. He walks off taking a bite. And he goes, this is really good. As he says as he walks off.
Mm.
Thank you.
Okay.
You don't know what the people around here eat, but obviously your food is the best food they've ever had. That seems to be the running thing right now.
Do I hear that? Guy say it was good food?
Roll a listen.
Fuck. I rolled a natural 20.
17.
You both do.
That's right.
Did you hear that?
I haven't eaten in 16 hours.
Let's go get some food.
You're right.
We both like, did you hear that?
Wait a minute.
Food?
So, they both just like turn and start walking towards your cart.
Don't we have to pay the Silverblades though? Isn't that what they do?
So,
They help investigate things, don't they? I mean,
there is one arbiter in town. Right? It's hard to become an arbiter, Daryl. There's one in town.
besides,
also
what's
a
a little
Silverblade.
cash to figure out where the water's coming
So you
from?
have to head to the Silverblades Guild Hall.
My place to pay for it.
Or, well, she will. You can't leave your post.
Maybe we'll be reimbursed.
But,
So you tell her where to go, though.
Do you need any help?
Yes. I'm gonna have to have you go do some things.
Okay. What do you need me to do?
Well, first of all, verbal consent is great and all, but I need you to get written consent from your father.
Father Jacobs?
Yeah, that's the guy.
His name keeps changing.
On
Jacobs.
your scroll. And then I need you to go find an arbiter. I can't leave my post. And with that guy in prison, I'm
the guard that you
not
talk about him, he's like, well,
leaving my post. No, I'm not.
Okay. I skip towards the temple.
Be
Post
quiet,
haste.
criminal. The guard says, knocking on your door.
Was he making any?
She skips away. She's probably one of the strangest people you've ever met.
That's a lot of hair.
Says the furry man. I mean,
Street level. They walk up to your cart.
Mm-hmm.
hey there.
Welcome, welcome.
That guy said you had good food.
Oh, I do.
What you got?
I got rolls. I've got a beef stew, and I've got ales.
Ooh.
All for a simple price of 4 silver pennies.
Behind him, he's got like
I'm
a
in.
wagon
How
set
about you?
up. There's a smoker. There's like a cask of ale sitting there. It's like his own little mobile like storefront.
Okay, I get you, and I stick it all on a tray and hand it to you.
What are you?
What?
He's a man.
Really?
Big one.
I am.
What did you eat? To get... Hey, I'll take the stew.
I eat food. You?
Sometimes, not. I forget.
You look like you
The gods smile upon this awkward
maybe
conversation.
very little.
Well,
Try this, and then you'll change your mind.
So you've
and
never.
meat on those
He
bones.
hands you something weird. It's
Okay,
a
the
wooden
man.
tray.
A tray
Yeah.
with a bowl on it, a spoon, a loaf of bread, and a nail.
this is
With a
extremely
lot.
fancy.
Right there. And then I hand you one to you.
Wow.
You do need the trays back though.
Oh, yes, the tray should be returned.
Oh, okay.
Let's
Is
sit
it
over
amazing?
there.
And it's right over here you return them to.
Okay.
Yes.
This is incredible.
Just return it all.
Can you roll a cook skill?
I got a 7. It's not all that great this time.
So
Oh, goodness.
it wasn't about the food
For
you
a
made.
load.
It's about the fact that you created these devices.
Yes,
So
I
you're
did.
like a little mash of like cook and a scientist. Well, your smoker just caught on fire.
Damn it.
This is incredible.
So as he hands you the food, you hear this, and then behind you see black smoke kind of go up, and he's like, "Oh, damn it!"
So I move off to my
Created a
smoker.
combustion engine. Incredible.
And then I quickly move to my smoker
This man's
to
a
deal with
genius.
this.
Meanwhile, the food you begin to eat is actually pretty good,
Not bad.
considering you got served it on a tray from the back of a cart.
Yeah.
It also dawns on you,
I'm
where's the
impressed.
animal that pulls this cart?
Well, assuming
I
it's
think the
the
animal's the man.
the size of an
It's
ox.
a manimal.
So I
It's
deal with the
a
smoker
manimal.
incident.
Yeah, roll an engineering or hair, whatever you got.
Nice.
There's something different about this ale.
So
Doesn't
16.
taste like
Okay,
dirt.
it's an easy fix. It happens all the time. You
They
start
put
working
dirt
on
in the
it.
ale. I don't drink
So,
Yes. But apparently
I think they do
the
sometimes.
smoked meat I probably should restart.
yes, absolutely, because now it tastes like burn.
charcoal.
Burn.
It's like fire.
So behind you, knock, 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 knock. That is the sound of a mallet slamming a nail into a board. You just happen to park in the high district where the posting board is. And there you see a man wearing a riding cloak that has a silver blade emblem on the back of it, and he is putting up something on the notice board. There's nothing else on the notice board in high district. He clack, 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 clack. He looks at it, straightens it.
You know, where are the swords? Do they have like a headquarters? Or something?
They're the guild hall here. Correct.
Okay.
So, sir, what's the new bulletin? What's the new posting?
The man that turns looks like that he may have been in his prime, like a very strong, able-bodied person, but he's getting on in years. His salt and pepper hair shows his age, but he has like a gleam in his eye. He moves with a quickness. He does have a sword at his hip, looks to be like a long sword, and he's wearing studded leather. He keeps his armor well taken care of. There's almost a bounce in his step. And he turns and he says, "Oh," he goes, "the Silver Blades," and he goes like this, like as in me. He goes, "are out on a task for the crown, well, except for me." He goes, "and something's come up." He goes, "we're looking for able-bodied peoples."
Oh, well, thank you, sir.
I go and look at the piece of paper.
I finished my stew. It's delicious.
He turns and begins to walk away. He gives you like a, "oh, hello," as he walks by, because you guys like almost run into each other. Hello.
What? Why would you speak to me?
So it's a generic posting for able-bodied people who are looking for work to report to the Silverblades Guild Hall.
I don't know if I describe myself as able-bodied.
That's the problem. That's why I threw that in there. But it's asking for able-bodied people to request to the Silverblade Guild Hall to take upon it. It doesn't get really into what the task is, but it says, "please do not inquire at the Silverblade Guild Hall if you have family or loved ones. The task may be of a dangerous nature." But it's like very vague and very just kind of in the gray
So
area.
it says there is a job.
So,
Yeah.
Job very dangerous.
It says payment will be
specifically.
Yeah,
will be fair
yeah, but I know you're gonna take it no matter
and
what.
cost effective and will be
It says
hit.
Beatrice.
Get killed.
Right there.
Killed and dead.
Yeah.
Oh.
It says danger. See, it says danger. It says Beatrice. Just different letters.
Alright,
So-
so sit back down.
And then I notice, would you mind if I take a look at your leg? It's very fascinating.
I gotta find a
By
different
all means.
occupation, Jenkins. This is.
Okay.
This is too boring.
I'll take a quick
And put my
examination.
leg
He
up
goes-
on a stump.
He goes, my name's
Yeah.
Todd.
I'm going to take a look at her
Sorry, Todd.
mechanical
He
leg.
goes down.
That's awkward.
Okay, you begin to like look at her mechanic. It's way beyond something you could create.
Yes, yes.
It's impressive. All
I
right,
think it's gnomish, most likely.
Lemon.
Mm-hmm.
you return. Down the stairs.
Not going to be happy to see you.
You took care of all those tasks. Took care of all those tasks. We're skipping ahead in time.
Okay.
You went and took care of all that. You went and got the arbiter. The priest rolled his eyes. He doesn't want to be bothered with anything. He rolled his eyes. But anyways, you got it all taken care of. You went to the Silverblade Guild Hall, and actually he was walking in carrying a ream of paper and a hammer as you walked up. You're like, hey, I'm looking for an arbiter, and he came with you. So to cut to the chase, you find yourself in the waning hours of the day as the sun, the Garlandian sun's beginning to set in the distance over the mountains, creating an orange, beautiful glow effect. All the clouds have separated and gone, leaving just that horizon, that beautiful horizon in the mountains. That you are arriving back at the garrison. You're actually technically off shift, but you gotta like deal with this first. When she walks down the steps, Lemon, our brightly haired person of small stature, walks in, and behind her is a Silverblade.
Hey, Monk. Got the arbiter.
The arbiter is a silver blade.
Yep.
Wonderful.
The Silverblade walks in, and he says, yes, it's nice to meet you. He says, who am I seeing now?
Jard Kelly.
What?
Kelvin, you say?
This man. I slide open the broken slide
The
hatch.
salt and pepper haired man who wears studded leather, carries a long sword, previously described the cloak with the silver blade emblem.
Oh, no.
And by the way, the silver blade's emblem, because we need to get that out of the way, is a sword with a dragon wrapped around it, but the dragon's body makes like an S. There's a fondness in the silver blades for silver dragons. None of you have ever seen a dragon? Legends speak of dragons, but the legends say that dragons that are of the silver persuasion tend to be a little more human-friendly. Maybe that's why they picked it as their mascot. Although, can you call a dragon really a mascot? When your mascot can eat all of you?
Not to its face.
Not to its face. The silver asks you, he goes, excuse me, Mr. Guard, can you open the door? He goes, what's he gonna do? Escape?
There.
Yeah. Don't do anything stupid. I open
I
the
walk
door.
away from the door and lay down on the
You lay
makeshift
down.
bed, looking at you going, fine.
I open the door. And I just literally stand by it and let him walk in.
Silverblade walks in, his arms behind his back, and he goes,
Would you like to accompany him?
Sure.
I'll stand outside.
Squeak.
he goes, so I've heard you need an arbiter.
Yeah.
Or that you've
somebody wants to murder me.
murder you.
Okay. All right. Let me break this down for you. I have been falsely accused
Yes.
of impersonating someone.
He leans
in
up against the
forging
wall.
documents and a
Puts
great
one foot up.
litany of other ne'er-do-well
Did you get that
things.
scroll written?
This being said,
Yes.
this tiny little thing here has been sent to reform my last rites.
As per normally,
I have yet
What
to be
is-
given a trial.
make it diplomacy. It's not a bluff because you're not lying.
16.
Okay, he goes, you have not been given a trial.
I've been in this cell for
His tone changes.
3.5 days, not seen one arbitrator aside from yourself, and now she's telling me I'm gonna die.
It's not
Not
wrong.
happy.
He goes,
I just
I
want my
know
time.
my rights within Garland. I am due a fair
he
trial.
goes, and you're a Keldon, you say.
Who I am is irrelevant. I am a
That's what I've been
citizen of
told.
Garland. That is enough to get me a trial.
Why has this man been not put on trial?
That's a great question, sir. I work here. Don't create the rules.
I shall be back.
I open the door.
He walks out and he goes, yes, I'll be back. Your name is...
Mock Morte.
He goes, Like, he, looks at you, and it's, a weird, he, looks you up and down for a second, but he's looking
Don't try anything funny.
Oh, no. He goes,
Don't worry. He's, no pun intended, but a giant teddy bear.
Priestess,
Yes, sir.
come with me.
Okay.
You start following him. He goes, Priestess, he goes, I'm going to solve various different things with one stone.
Okay.
He goes, I think that's a saying.
Can I help?
He keeps walking. He goes, yes. He goes, you'll see. He keeps walking.
Very well.
He walks back up to the posting board. You guys are still sitting there. He takes the posting down.
Hey, wait.
Oh, it's
What
good
are
you
you
take
doing?
that down. It was just a posting about a really easy job with no parallels, so it's not like you would want it everything.
I read it. I know what it said.
Oh, sorry.
Jesus Christ.
Why are we taking down the posting?
He goes, because I have a plan.
Okay.
He has a plan.
What's your plan?
What are those plans?
He goes, he turns around and he says to you, and he doesn't really try to hide it from anyone else around. He goes, Silverblades have been investigating. He goes, the people getting poisoned in the common district for some time. He goes, the local government really hasn't raised any voice about it. They don't seem to care.
What?
And he goes, I have a Keldon. He goes, sitting in prison. He goes, he's going to be put on trial. He goes, I can be his arbiter. He goes, I can use this to get him to complete a task for me. He goes, and probably drop his charges. We'll call it benefiting the local population.
Excuse me.
He goes, yes? He turns around and looks.
Excuse me. I'm from the Water Guild. We were actually about to come talk to the Silverblades.
Ah, then come with me.
Just overheard a conversation. We're supposed to be investigating this poisoning thing. This
Well, then you
disease.
should probably follow me when I walk in this direction.
Right.
He goes, and the pay is going to be incredible too.
Okay.
We like money.
Money's not
Going.
bad.
And you're to be dropping by the prisons?
He stops and looks back at you. And he goes, yes.
Is it dangerous?
Okay.
It possibly.
I'm just curious.
There's so
Well,
many new people. My
how
name's
we have
Lemon.
to
What's
go,
your
right?
name?
And
What's your name?
Beatrice.
Hey, Beatrice. I'm Lemon. Nice to meet you.
Nice.
Yes.
Yes.
Of course. Time is of the essence. Please follow me.
so just how
Of course.
dangerous, though? Like,
Ian, it's fine. Let's
you
go.
don't know that it's fine.
And they begin to leave.
I quickly store everything, and then I follow on behind them.
The giant cook's like, let's do this.
Good.
Oh, I have a method to my madness.
I know you do. I know you do. We talked about it before. Next thing you know, you're following the Silverblade, and he does have this bouncer step, but he has a plan. And you're thinking, like, what have we got in rap?
That's because you're about to.
Yours is more like you're following, and you look
still
back,
a balance.
and also the next thing you know, around the corner, here comes this big ox of a man carrying his food cart, falling in behind you.
Are you coming with us too?
Well, at least as far as the prison.
Okay. Well, my name's Lemon. What's your name?
Garvin.
Oh, you might.
Nice to meet you, Garwin.
Here's the paperwork the Water Guild has on the.
He keeps walking as he turns around to take it.
that
And
we
he turns
have
back
on
around and
the
uses
the things. I actually was just found out about it, so I don't really know what's going on.
You feel like you're talking into nothing, because you feel like he's not really listening at this point.
Sure, he's listening. It's okay.
Nobody listens.
Ah. The door to the. You have to leave your cart outside. You just reach the barracks.
Right.
You know what I mean.
Right. I grab the burnt meat and bring it with me.
Okay. You grab the burnt meat, a single tear. No, like it's a waste of food.
Oh, that's
At
the
this
whole.
point,
that's the whole plan.
It's
here.
pretty much the end of the day.
Mhm.
As the Silverblade walks up,
I better
knocks on the
get
door,
overtime
gains
for
entrance,
I'm not getting paid.
and you hear, okay, I have a plan. You see as the Silverblade's coming down the steps, and now he has Lemon behind him, someone you've never met, someone you've never met,
Whoa.
and someone you never met.
Whoa. 2 at a time per visit. And it's after hours. What are all these people doing here?
All right, which first?
Ah.
Oh, then.
He walks over and he goes,
I vote me.
Yeah, I want to go too.
Whoa.
he walks over to the door, he points at the other guard, he's like,
how many
he goes,
cells are
can you open the
occupied?
cell?
And which ones are they?
What?
The guard walks over, yeah, of course, sir.
You're being recruited
Shit.
for a mission.
They bamboozled me.
What? You've been Smeckledorf.
Damn it. No.
The door's flung open. He's sitting. He goes, as your arbiter. He goes, I'm signing you under my care until your trial. He goes,
Oh no.
so don't do anything stupid.
I need a different job.
He hands over some paperwork and he goes, I need you to sign here. Where he got this paperwork, you have no idea. You don't remember
What are you
stopping
doing?
anywhere to get it. Anyways, beside the point.
I'd run back down to him, obviously, so I can witness all of this happening.
Looks at you.
You! Watch them! You, help him!
He goes, I noticed that you... He goes, are you signing that?
I'm reading.
Don't steal my pen.
I'm going to go down to the end of the hall of all these cells, and then I'm going to knock on them if there's an
So
answer.
we all
I'm
in
gonna
the prison
slide
now?
some burnt meat underneath it, and then
You're
knock to the
behind
other
you.
one. If someone answers, I slide some meat under that door.
Are we?
You know.
Are we all in the prison right now?
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. I've never been in a prison.
Me neither.
I read this document.
It's really dark
Basically,
in here.
Mock's like losing his shit.
Fucking fired. Not again.
He's sliding meat under the doors to guards. You hear someone go, oh, thanks. Like,
Isn't it illegal to do that?
Yes.
To feed the masses?
It's
Fine.
illegal
Don't
to
do
feed the
anything.
prisoners!
They're not the masses. This is a prison.
What are you doing? Get out of here!
I know that.
He starts
Every
yelling.
Every
hair
person
Looks
needs
like
a
Mock
meal
right now.
before their last meal.
I start yelling at you.
True.
The piece
You
of
don't
paper,
get your last
Neil,
meal?
basically,
Like,
Jar
I'm saying it's
basically
illegal,
says
though.
that, like, as your
I start
arbiter,
yelling at you.
he's signing you into his custody, pending your trial. But that also makes, by Garland law, him responsible if you run or flee.
Sounds like a him issue. Sign it.
You sign it. It also means there's also a hand-scrawled part of it at the end, which you just said you signed it before I was finished,
Good job.
that says basically you're, like, in his servitude until the trial is completed.
That's cute. You're a minor slave.
You sign it. He goes, good. He goes, sir. He goes,
No
he goes,
feeding.
He goes, you know,
No feeding the
Because you're-
prisoners!
you're quite a large fellow, Mr. Bugbear.
And you're probably gonna get
That'd be
fired.
like calling someone like
Mr. Human?
Mr. Human. And he looks at you and goes,
Did I
can
tell
you wield those weapons you carry?
I'm about to.
How would you like to be paid? He goes, to work outside of this prison cell.
I would love to.
He goes,
Yeah, I'm pretty
then
sure
follow
you just
me.
got fired for having so many.
Where's my commission for that man?
You look over at the only other
You know
guard
what?
in there. He goes,
You know what? Fuck it. I don't care. Let's go. I kick open the door myself.
and in the strangest gathering of people from all across the walks of life, this train of people leaves out of
Fuck
the
you!
guard.
Fuck you!
You know.
I'm out.
How long is this job?
You leave. The last person looks back, sees a single guard standing there and going, he looks up and he's like, well, how am I going to write this one up? And he turns around.
Oh, yes, and the last of the burnt meat I hand to him and say, hey, as I
He's
walk
like,
out the door.
Thanks.
And there I got rid of my burnt meat.
You all train out
I
of
wouldn't
there.
actually sell to anybody.
And now it is night.
Wait, where are we
You're
going?
free. Are you gonna run?
I just lost my job.
Okay, then I have one other issue.
Is that a no?
Those dice are broken.
That's the 9th 2 I've rolled.
Those dice are 100% broken.
I'm contemplating.
Where'd you get all that
what's a party
food?
look like at this point? We're following the silver
Where'd you get all
blade.
that food?
So Silverblade, right?
My card.
And then it's
What, are you
Omelamins.
hungry?
Omelamins. Omelamins.
I was just curious
No.
how one
Then
man could
it's
single-handedly get me fired in a
Lennon,
night.
who you can't see because he's too tiny. And then it's Mock. And then it's Garwin, and then it's you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's in the
He's
big.
the tall
Wait, we let him walk in the very back.
He goes,
So I'm gonna make a hide.
Sir Bugbear. He goes,
Who are you hiding behind?
Well, we are
Wait.
walking through the city. I cut down an alley real quick.
Sir Bugbear. He goes, if the prisoner tries to escape, he goes,
I'm on
make
it.
sure he does it.
22.
We
Make a
all
spot.
get spots because he's trying to hide in the middle of.
Oh, I don't think I saw him.
I think we're all gonna fail.
Well,
I fumbled. I don't see shit. I
You,
only
walk,
got a
you
19.
walk into an apple cart.
Who knew that was gonna
Thud.
happen?
What?
I am
What
simply
about-
looking
Look where
for
you're going.
tools to take on this adventure. I just don't need to be followed to do that.
okay.
You disappear off the alley, and everyone starts stopping. Like Mock starts looking for you. This big
I'm not.
bugbear walks back, and
I'm
he's
still
like,
walking.
Oh,
just look at him.
You've been here in the city. a
So
while?
everybody stops, and he goes.
You know the nurse Nora?
He yells out. The streets are getting more sparse now because it's the end
down
of the day.
To the right.
All right.
I just
He goes,
pointed
the streets are
That's
way
it.
sparsely populated than they were before. So you can hear him when the Silverblade yells out. He goes, if you run, he goes, I can't defend you.
Who? Who are you talking to?
I think
The
that
right way.
I make a
Follow left.
listen check.
Okay, roll.
If I see him, I can hear
Here's
the
whispered
sleep.
on the wind.
20. Wait. Wait.
You have like racial modifier
No.
to listen because you're a bugbear.
19.
19.
Cool. I'm not trying to be like
Yeah.
sound stealthy. I just needed to hide because I want to find like
Weapons?
pretty much.
It's gonna be hard to do on a random side street.
Well,
He's taking a detour.
Yeah, he's
There
taking the
are-
back roads to the shops.
there are places to procure said
Well,
items.
it's not like we really need that guy, right? He didn't have anything.
Silverblade goes.
He's close.
He goes. I assume that would happen. He goes. I feel like he's gonna. We'll find him.
Yeah, but if he keeps disappearing all the time, we really want him following us.
I'm going to collect.
no problem.
I need a short bow.
I know, and I don't like it.
And a short sword.
Make it move silently and hide.
Hide. I mean, what's weird is I have all this stuff right here.
I'm me and my
21.
cart's moving towards the nearest orphanage that she pointed out to me.
You're moving towards the orphanage.
Yes, because I still have food from
10?
the day, and
Oh, that's a shitty hide.
I can't keep it because it's not what you do.
Wait, are
You
you,
know-
coming with us? Food?
Oh, I got
This way?
things I've got to done.
Wait, you grabbed.
It grabs your gear.
I didn't have gear when I was arrested.
I've got a pot
Then
of
whose gear is
stew out
this?
here.
Whose
It'll
reindeer
just
is
go
this?
bad
You
if I
caught
get
me in
sleeping.
my freaking room. Unless you actually grabbed the shit laying in that pile over there.
Hey,
Probably would.
While you
roll-
were hauling my ass.
Hold
out.
on, roll a d20.
Alright, let's do it. Let's do it.
I mean, I think they would have gathered your belongings.
What'd you get?
4.
Well, we grabbed somebody's gear.
Huh.
I have someone.
To your best knowledge, this is his gear. You didn't have gear. You have no idea whose stuff you grabbed.
I opened the bag. Whose stuff do I have? Is this like random
Yes.
clothes?
Yeah.
So I got a 21
Oh,
I moved silently.
you
I got
you found
10
the
on my hide. And what
the
else
lost
did
and
you roll?
found bag.
That's it.
Okay.
Oh.
So, you guys are walking from the garrison to the Silverblades. It's after a few moments when they lost you. You sweep through the bazaar quickly. As you reach, you grab a short bow, and you grab a dagger, and like a bundle of arrows, and sweep back in. And as you guys start to kind of going like, oh my gosh, we've made a mistake. He's disappeared. He's there.
With a bow. I noticed the bow. I didn't
Have
notice he
that.
left.
He just kind of sweeps back into the party.
Fashioning the quiver to my.
We have that whole conversation like, whose stuff was this thing?
He's just
There
like-
it is. I thought I'd lost that.
You
Here.
know, I don't trust
You
any
don't. Like I
person-
said, you rolled. It could be his. You don't.
Yeah, if you
It's
wear
weird
everyone
that he
else's-
owns a dress.
Thank you.
Yeah, I didn't think you wore a dress like that.
Oh, it's not for me. It's for my sister.
Right,
Right.
Sister.
right.
I don't trust him. I don't trust any person who can disappear without.
And I look at the silver blade. Like, are we
just saying.
just gonna stand here or what?
Yeah, he keeps walking.
All right. So I follow behind.
You find yourself in the
I open
Silverblade
the
Guild
bag
Hall.
and look through it real quick.
It's a whole bunch of useless garbage.
Literally like clothes. I was like, I thought it was yours.
I'm thinking I
That's
can
what
fence this at some point.
Well,
Fine.
that's what I get for trying to be a nice guy.
The guild hall for the Silverblades is a stone construction building, almost like a mini keep. You find it as you enter almost devoid of Silverblade existence completely. There are workers and peasantry that work here for a living, milling about, cleaning things, doing their daily tasks and their
How
business.
far away from the orphanage?
Some distance. Depends on whether you want to break off from the group or not.
Okay, that's where I'm going. Gotta get this food
Right.
someplace where it'll do good.
Right. So, do you want to head with them, or you want to go to the orphanage?
I sort of want to go to the orphanage. I can
Okay.
really stop by here.
Do you let the party know this?
I will say I got business at the orphanage. I will see you later.
You get directions from party members, like from him, where to get to the Silverblade estate, and he helps you make it there quickly. So you go off to go do your thing in the orphanage.
Yes.
We'll get to that in a moment. The Silverblade estate, like I said, is like a mini keep. But the Silverblades are all gone. You're told by the Silverblade himself that they're off on an actual mission that took most of them that they're doing for the crown. And he's more merely like a retainer. He's mostly retired and now spends his time doing arbiter work and kind of working as a freelance, all sorts of different things. But basically keeping the Silverblade estate. He rambles through that really fast because he seems kind of excited. He brings into a foyer like a large meeting area. And at an oaken table, he sprawls out a map of the city of New Third. And there he explains to you, he says, look, you're all standing around the table. He says, there are some stools, some of you could be seated. under the light of the lantern that he hung up on the ceiling, he says, people have been getting sick in the common district for quite some time. He says, at first we didn't know what it was. He goes, but then we started to notice there was something wrong with the water when it reaches the area of the common district from the river, because the city of New Thur has a river that runs down through, and actually part of the river is inside the walls. So it creates, like there's actually like a portcullis gate and stuff like that, because you don't want like
How long
again.
has the water guild known about this and not do anything?
Well, and he goes, and we've put messages to the water master. He goes, and I don't know if the paperwork just got lost in the shuffle.
I just handed it to you.
Right. He's like, and you handed me that paperwork. He goes, but we sent that a while ago. Remember when he was going through it, he like dug through paperwork to get it?
I don't know if this is connected, but the water in the old town's back.
What you didn't do is read the date on paperwork you just got.
Did not.
And he says,
Years ago.
and that's the weird thing. He goes, in the common district, he goes, the water system seems to be backing up. He goes, but the water is like a strange color. He goes, it's not sewage, as gross as that sounds. It's something else. He goes, and people keep getting sick. He goes, now, as far as I know, no one's died from it. He goes, but it seems pretty, he goes, out of the norm.
Well, we definitely like to take a look at this water. I'll tell you that much.
And he goes, so I was going to wait till the Silverblades got back. He goes, and have them check out the sewer access that runs into the bottom of the river. And he means by bottom, like where the river runs next to the city of New Thur. And he goes, but, he goes, when they haven't returned, he goes, things can only get worse. He points to all of you and he goes, perhaps we can strike a deal. The Silverblades cannot simply abide by while people in the commons are getting sick. He goes, perhaps they start to die. He goes, they may be the poor among us. He goes, they deserve a voice. He goes, they deserve to live free of whatever this is. He goes, and perhaps it's nothing.
Still doesn't explain why there's water in the old.
He goes, well, that area is cursed. I'm sure some sort of...
That is not a sufficient explanation. To
It's
give
gonna
any
come
sort
from
of,
somewhere, right?
well, it's got to come from somewhere. If you don't figure it out,
He goes,
it's a big problem.
so I am allowed to, and he goes, by Silverblade bylaws, to pay you each a stipend. He goes, to take upon this task to investigate the befouling of the water in the common districts. He goes, because as far as I can tell, he goes, we don't do anything about this. It gets worse. It starts to spread into the higher districts. He goes, and perhaps that's what needs to happen for the government of the city to take notice. He goes, but I don't want to allow that.
Is the Commons Aqueduct connected to the rest of the aqueducts in the road system, or is it?
It's one big system.
How much is the stipend?
He goes, I'm sure I can get you a 50 gold piece start just to take it on.
Per person?
Yes.
It's not bad.
I'm down.
Well, if you're
He goes,
going,
priestess,
I
he goes,
suppose-
I'm simply leaning on your good faith. He
Okay.
goes, and need to
What do you
help
think?
people in need. Because I'm hoping that you can take time
Try the
away
same.
from your temple duties.
I have to double check with Father Jacobs, but he should allow me.
I'll need to
Oh
inform,
yeah, I have work.
I'll need to inform my boss, but I'm sure if it's dealing with a water problem, you'll have no problem with it. As
I
long
wonder
as-
what the militia would say.
You willing to take me on as a new
But 50
hire?
gold is enough. I mean, isn't that like 3 months of pay at a militia? So, it's pretty good.
Maybe I should
He
tell my
looks at you and he
quit.
goes, you willing to let me talk to you about
We're gonna have
the
to
Silver
see
Blades?
us.
He smiles.
Damn straight.
He goes, absolutely.
The pay's better than what I was working there.
He goes, you're hired.
Oh, it's that
Right.
easy.
Well, he hired him. He's not a Silver Blade.
Right.
He just hired him as like a contractor.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, so those of you who agree, I'll just simply need you to sign some forms saying that you're contracting your work out for the Silver Blades. He goes, it's just a legal matter, so that way if something happens and you're injured, he goes, your family can't come after us for whatever.
Read over the document.
Okay.
I read
I
over mine.
corrected the document.
I used Decipher script to see if the document has any loopholes. I got a 21.
Oh my god. I go check with the father and say I'll be right back.
You're on forgery. Alright.
Now, I carefully read it over to make sure like there's no
All
legal
right.
way they could fuck us over.
Alright, it's a very simple document. It's one document for you all to sign. Because it's not like there's printing presses right now. So it's, well, there might be like in Garland City, but here there's not. And the document pretty much says You are being contracted for work by the Silverblades. You are not a Silverblade, and your actions do not represent the Silverblades. Basically, if they hire you and you go murder hoboing, it doesn't reflect on the Silverblades. That's plausible deniability. And that if you were to get injured, maimed, harmed, or
Well, except for him, because
other,
he's the responsibility of him. So actually,
or other things may happen to you, they're not liable for you. Your family can't come after the Silverblades and be like, you put him on a suicide mission and stuff like that. So
Good.
it's pretty straightforward. It doesn't seem to have any like
good
dark
thing we don't have
loopholes
family.
or kind of like trying to like F you over. The Silverblades just don't want to contract work out and get bit in the ass when those people end up being like evil or like brigands.
Nobles or
Now you would hope that their pre-hiring practices are better than that, but they just hired Mock on the spot. Well, at least this guy did. People in
I
Bruce.
decipher script. I notice that he forges it.
You notice that when he's going to sign it, he moves up and goes to start changing some lettering.
Really? Come on.
What?
We haven't even started yet. Come on, man. No.
No.
He's
But
so.
no, that's not his signature.
He looks at you and he goes, "Sir."
Trust me, I do this a lot.
Son of a bitch.
I sign as Jarred Fellows.
I haven't signed yet.
No.
I scratch out fellows and write killed. That's like my name.
Well, now it's super forged. So
Fucking God.
Oh my god.
Somewhere deep in the recesses of this NPC's mind, he feels like he made a terrible mistake.
he did.
Um,
He made a horrific mistake.
Horrible.
I did an oopsie.
So does everybody sign? Once you return.
Yeah, I signed it.
Yeah.
You return shortly afterwards.
Okay.
You simply arrive at the orphanage and give the priestess who runs the orphanage, is like the orphanage mother, your extra food. She thanks you. Blessings of Rouse right upon you.
Yeah,
It's not a
'cause-
big deal. You're used to doing it. They're very thankful. Makes you feel good.
Yeah.
You're probably
Well,
the
yeah.
best character in the party right now.
Oh, for sure.
Well, you know,
No,
it's not like you could keep food in this type of
Right.
area. Therefore, once I've made it up, sold what I could, the rest goes to the orphanage.
Right.
Plus, of course, I burn stuff that goes to the prison.
I give you one Garwin awesome point.
Oh, okay.
Before I actually sign, I do have to go back to the temple and
Yeah.
get permission. Otherwise, I see things ending badly.
Collecting
you
my
know,
awesome
There's not any reason
with
the
the
water.
stuff in my background.
There's not any reason water would be mad if I.
I also feel like I'm about to get silently judged.
And it's relevant to your.
It is
the
100.
job that.
I mean, I don't think there's any problem. I got 9 losing, so I signed.
Nine with him.
It just seems fine. Like, it's good. I mean, I haven't really thought about it yet, but it seems okay.
2 days later. Shit.
Oh wait, no.
That's why playing characters with flaws is the best.
Yes.
What have I done? Really?
Okay.
But yeah, I tell the Silverblade guy that I'll be back by morning at the latest after I speak with my elders, and then I'll return.
For the sake of time, you all get your okays.
Yes.
You've become accustomed to parking your cart at stables because it's basically a carriage
Mm-hmm.
and it's safe there. You return in the morning. Yes, sir.
We never. I don't have a familiar.
Not yet.
Not yet.
It's gonna be a salamander.
That's
Or
gonna
goldfish.
happen at some point.
I have a familiar.
Got it.
I'm just
Whoa.
kidding.
It's your hair.
I
I do,
tinkered
when
with
I-
gauntlets. So my gauntlets actually has fingers.
When I return to the group, I have a backpack with a bedroll.
You don't only get the okay from your father, from your step up priest to do that. You get the like, please go. Not he doesn't say that,
Right.
but you're pretty sure he hates you. You don't know why.
Maybe he hates everyone.
But that's probably true.
I mean, your attitude is a little grating at times, just because it's so happy. Like, please stop being so happy.
It's a new Garlandian day. Gray, overcast skies bring a small amount of rain. When the party meets in the gates of the common district, because all the districts within the city are ported off, so in case of like an invasion, they can kind of like pull people back and keep closing it off. That's the theory, at least. The rain comes down in a mist form, so you're just like you don't see the rain. Look, the rain looks like a fog, and then you're just wet. The sky is completely overcast. That's a good sign for a new adventure.
Yes.
Quick question.
Yes.
Am I alright?
You stayed in the Silverblade Guildhouse that night because you're under his.
So I'm locked in there?
Mhm.
Cool. Where's their armory again?
Well, their armory from that night
Rob
before.
the Silver Blades.
I mean, this dagger is nice and all.
Do it. Dare you.
So,
Well,
I'm not going
Got
to
some
rob,
good
I'm going
food,
to
right?
barter.
we got some good food, right?
Always.
I happen to have a bag full of plates.
Nice.
I don't necessarily
I'd like to
need-
buy 2 plates, please.
it's true.
So
But
I-
you're under such like
Oh,
close
right.
watch that
It is
you
the
can do what
breakfast
you
time,
wish.
though.
It is Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah,
I
it
know.
changes a bit.
But
I love breakfast.
what's your wisdom?
10.
Okay, so
Here's 8.
like
I'm gonna roll a.
you didn't get this far by being a complete moron.
This is true.
Right.
Or maybe you did.
I
What?
speak to the Silver Blade,
Uh-huh.
saying, I will need some.
You
more
requisition gear?
armaments."
Make a charisma check. Make a diplomacy.
Diplomacy! That's about a 19 plus.
Where are your weapons?
4, so 23.
I'm a patient man, too.
You want me to go on this?
All right.
I need to be better prepared.
So he allows you to go into the Silverblade's storeroom, as it were, their actual like arms hall, and you are allowed to take gear, relative gear that you need. So if you want like
I
full
just
set of
need-
plate mail, no.
This leather armor looks pretty.
Take a leather
Pretty
jerkin, take some.
Ooh, that's a very smooth rapier. I like that. If you don't mind. You know what? Here. I figured the Silverblades can donate this to charity. My sister's. She's not weight anyways.
He's not around you guys. This is happening the night before.
So cool.
Oh no.
He takes the bag.
That was a dick
I feel like I've made a
move.
terrible, terrible mistake. The Silverblade says.
Oh, it's too early to judge that. Okay, was I? Toss the rapier.
Next morning.
What's his name?
Who?
The
Silverblade.
Silverblades.
His name's Eric.
Just a rando guy.
Can I make it like a history on Silver Blades? See if
Yeah.
I remember. It's 24.
Okay. So, Yeah.
Brave.
do you share this history?
It depends on what you tell me.
Okay. The Silverblades really got their start around the time that the Keepers started to vanish. So you gotta remember, the Keepers were a group of super powerful heroes that helped defeat like ultra powerful beings and save
We
the
lived
world.
this shit, man. We did it.
Yeah, like they are legendary. But then they started kind of like going away. The Silverblades started up from a ground up kind of like, we need heroes, we need people who are gonna like stop like the mind flayers and ogres and the giants.
Trolls.
But they need to be a little more accountable for their actions. And they need to be more based on Garland.
It's an Adventurers League.
So it is. It's basically turned into a guild. And guilds under Garlandian law are monitored. And so they're like a pro-Garlandian guild that seeks to help people. There's 2 different ideas on them. One side says, oh, they're heroes. They're the ones who fight things that nobody else wants to. They're the ones that fight things that like the military doesn't have time to do or shouldn't do. They're the ones that go into towns and like root out like lycanthropes and stuff like that. The other side says they're just making money. They could give a rat's ass about you. They want the paycheck. And it's more of the previous. There are not many people that think that they're just like mercenaries, but there's a decent amount of people like, hey, look, they're just mercenaries. They're just mercenaries with a shiny badge on.
I mean, AIM wouldn't say this, but that probably depends on the Silver Blade.
Exactly, and that's what it really comes down to. It depends on the Silverblade, because they do take missions for the crown or for the people. They'll do bounties, but they're picky about them. So Silverblades won't take a bounty that's a kill bounty, unless that kill bounty is on someone who is like
Mass murder.
a mass murderer.
Or a demon.
They definitely don't want to be thought as being assassins. You know,
Oh, no, it's not any like secret information, so yeah.
they're not really a secretive group. They have their ups and downs. They tend to be a little political and try to get into like political holdings within towns and stuff like that to help their cause. So they almost died out 10 years ago when the word is that they were a Kathos, a dark Kathos paladin, Oathkeeper, tried to assassinate them all,
So sorry.
and they were able to kill him. And after that, They are still open, but they've changed how they recruit people to actually be Silverblades, and they've like become much more vigilant about who becomes an actual Silverblade.
Okay. Sounds good.
They do background checks.
Basically.
The basics what they can.
Zone of Truth, divination. The party finds themselves in the common district at the waterfront, among the creaking docks and the small shanty houses and shops that have been put up on the docks, built 2-3 stacks tall, as the gray, misty rain kind of falls down all around you. You can see the outlet that he speaks of, and there's nothing coming out of it right now. And it's at the end of the city, kind of still within the walls, so that creatures and things can't get into it from the outside of the walls. From your angle, you can see the big pipe that runs out. And it's almost as though it's a sign at that moment that you hear the rushing of water. And water, not sprays, but comes out of this pipe. And he's even taken aback. The Silverblade goes, oh, because the water is like the strangest color of green. And I don't mean sewage green. I mean like green.
Huh.
And just for a few moments, the water sprays out like that, and then dies off. The water wizard has a pet. No, I'm just kidding.
Why isn't there a state of emergency in the city? That is odd. That could be toxic for all you know. For all we know, that turns people into demons. I mean, I'm just saying. I have no idea what that is. Why is nobody freaking out
and
about
thus
this?
why, when I couldn't get any help, he goes, I took it upon myself to hire contractors to deal with this problem.
How long has this been going on?
I do not know. He goes, so, I leave it to your hands now.
I would say we could just purify the water, but it's so much, and if we don't know where it's coming
That's
from.
if this is even divine connected at all. This could be arcane. This could be natural. We have no idea.
You're all here,
This
by the way.
requires
We gotta find the
investigation.
source. That's the
And then
first part.
So you probably should
Up the
take a
chain.
sample of this green
Yes.
water and have it tested.
But once the water's spewed out, it stops, and it mixes with the river water, and it's gone.
Oh.
So, he hands a key to you. Because that'll open the lock to get inside the grate on the outside of the...
Wonderful.
More of that
He goes, it'll also unlock any one of the grates in the city. He goes to get down to the sewer system. Which, I mean, you already had a key, because you work for the water
It's
system.
damp in there.
Probably. Actually, I know it is. Why I say.
With that, the Silverblade goes, I have business to attend to. I leave this in your hands. He goes, I am trusting you. He goes,
No.
because I have no choice.
I'm not saying we're in over our head, but we might very well be way over our head. So,
Wait,
I mean, I've never done anything like
He's
this.
not
We don't
under
know until we
responsibility
try.
anymore, right?
Do we have what?
Let's go check it out.
No.
See what's happening.
I'm curious how this is dangerous for them.
All right.
It is a sewer.
He puts his hand out to shake your hand.
I'll shake it.
He looks at you. God's speed. Because there's twin gods, so they say Godspeed. With that, he walks off. Because remember, he's got the backing of the Silverblade, so... And he's gone.
Where does this river go through?
So if you imagine New Thur, the river runs across the east side of the town. The walls actually go over the river
Right.
and then cover that
I
other
just meant,
side.
does this river head to like other towns and stuff downriver?
Oh yeah, eventually.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's just.
You're sitting here thinking it's like World War III, which you have a reason to, and other people are like, man, doesn't be a problem.
Just toxic water spraying to a river that supplies water to multiple towns and cities. It's not a big deal.
And that's why when he couldn't go through the normal channels to get any response, he's like, screw it, I gotta hire some contractors or something.
I mean, I had like read that piece of document, but I didn't know the water was literally fucking green. Like
So-
I thought it was just like dirty water.
No, so
and it doesn't smell. Like if that much sewage poured out,
Yeah, it would smell.
it'd smell it.
We're gonna have to find the source of this water.
I don't know
Right.
where the source is.
So let's go to the source.
With that, the party. Do you want to take the entrance through the portcullis or the grate at the end of the sewer thing, or do you just want to find a manhole? Not they're not really manholes.
Which way would be fast?
Faster would be street level. You might not fall in the. Actually, fastest would be the entrance to the grate, because you're right there. You could go down the docks, because the docks don't. There's like a shoreline. You go down the shoreline, walk over to the pipe is, go over the front of it, wade into the water like waist high, and then climb up in.
Take my leg off.
Where do these pipes come from?
She
I don't want to
stops.
get it wet.
Beatrice stops, puts her leg up
Entire city.
on a barrel.
Now,
Clink, clink, clink.
before we get in there,
Technically, even
Strapped
the
to my
old
back.
city, those ones are just shut off.
before we
Grab
get
my
in there,
wooden leg.
the water's been
Puts
making people
it on.
sick,
Mhm.
correct?
As far as we're aware, I mean,
By drinking or by contact?
it's a good question.
Puts your peg leg on. Thunk.
I
Your
just
movement rate,
found out
movement rate
about
goes down
this
by 5
today.
feet.
So, I
So-
don't know.
I use detect poison on the water.
Okay. You're gonna have to get over there first.
Right. No, I'll go over there. I can at least use detect poison to see if it's poisonous. It's making people sick, so it's obviously got
The
something.
party
in
moves
it.
down onto like the little shoreline of
Because
the
I need to
river.
know if it's either
Jesus.
poisonous by contact or by
Ingestion.
ingestion. That way, if we can wade through it.
You begin to, even to get around the end of the pipe, you have to wade out into the water.
Mhm.
So by the time you get to the end of the pipe to check, who all goes out there?
Just her, just to check and see if it's
Nah.
Wait
poison,
a minute. Wait. Do we have any?
Unless you go on top of the pipe and come from above and like go in.
right?
Imagine the pipe comes out from under the city street level.
Wait, you're just trying to get a little bit of water, right?
From.
From the.
No, I'm trying to get up to the pipe to use detect poison.
And when I
Oh.
say pipe, guys, I mean like the circumference of this room.
Right.
Yeah, no, massive pipe. Yes.
Hmm.
Do I have to actually swim? Am I short enough?
I was getting there, that's why I asked how many people went out to the water.
I didn't.
No, thank you.
If I don't have to get my leg wet, I won't.
Well, it is my job, so I guess I'll do it.
If you want to stay dry, you want to go on top of the pipe, walk across it, and try to come up from the top.
That's
Yeah, that's-
what I will do.
You all start to kind of walk across it. Now, it's big, but it's round. You guys are going across it, and every time she steps on her peg leg, it's all dink, dink, as you guys walk across. Everyone's going across this pipe, correct?
Yeah. Well,
Okay. The rain's still pouring down, so not getting wet's kind of a useless fact at this point anyways. I mean, there's a difference between rainwater and becoming soaking wet, but...
I just make him cast like prestidigitation to clean off my leg.
That would be good if I had it memorized.
You don't.
No.
You're like,
My-
can you... No.
My whole fact was just so we don't get poisoned
Yeah, I get you.
as a
I
whole
remember
group.
that.
Like we wade through the water. Now we're all sick. Yay!
Party's been poisoned.
Poison.
Party takes damage from
So
poison.
you get up to the top, and remember, there's just a trickle of water coming in now, and it's not green. The priestess is at the edge of the pipe, correct?
No, I agree.
The water coming out now is not. It was like a blast of green water for a second, and then it stopped. And then it's just a trickle of water. It does smell faintly of sewage.
As all water probably does in this day and age.
Right, and you lean over and you cast you pray
Yes.
that Raul Soraya bless you with the eyes to be able to divine poisonous
Poison.
materials. It's not said like that, but you make a small chant, and you look down, and although the water itself is not, there's residue along the water and in the bottom of the pipe and around the rim of the pipe that is poisonous. You see it in your vision as almost like a glow. And it doesn't stereotypically glow green. It glows ethereal, like magical.
Right.
You're just given the sight to see it, like someone's taking a highlighter in your vision and just like highlighting the areas.
Okay.
So there's definitely poison. But
Okay.
detect poison, I'm fairly certain, Mr. Rules, just detects if there is poison.
Yeah, I mean, my
So-
memory of that spell is mixed up through multiple editions, but I'm 90% right.
And regardless, we'll say that there's so little of it left that you can't discern, like, is it death on contact? But if people are just getting sick, it's probably not death if the things are related.
Well, it's probably just highly diluted by the water. I mean, you add some poison to the water, so like it's all poison.
Okay.
Yeah. I will share the information with the group.
Oh, that's great. So it is poison.
It doesn't look like the water itself is currently poisoned, but there is
Well,
poison around the pipe.
If there's poison in the water, then I mean, that's almost the same.
Are we
thing.
climbing in this
It's the wine
little?
and the sewage thing.
Honestly, we don't know how long we're gonna be down there. We've just discovered proof that there's actually poison in the water.
So we
system.
need
I
to
think we
find-
should go tell the mayor before we do anything.
We need to, but
I
we're
know the
already
mayor's
here.
not-
We need to find the source, and the mayor's not really nice.
This thing is really bad.
Well, I'm
too
not really
busy for
nice.
us.
I could go talk to him.
so
You and your dulcet tones.
I'm just
You're
saying,
not wrong.
This
so
problem.
to
threatening
really
me,
find
like,
out
a lot of
something,
hand.
we may need to go inside the pipe and go
I'm
down.
gonna climb down in the.
Sounds
Okay.
like we're gonna go down.
Your
that
sister
path.
just kind of does what she always does, and she leans over,
Careful, it's
unlocks the
really dark in
latch,
there.
swings the portals open, and goes, "Huh," and jumps down in.
Anybody coming?
And
Alright,
I
come
go
down
in, I go in with
Key.
her.
Once again,
Take
and
the
you're
key.
like, oh.
It's all. We're just going through the poison act.
It's fine. It's
I
fine.
was just thinking of where.
And
Here it is.
Could be
It's
the
okay.
You keep saying it. You say that all
Where,
the time.
where could
You
be?
say it's okay when it's not okay. I notice that a lot.
Okay.
Hey, water
It's
guy.
okay.
Where could the
Water guy.
Hey, big, tall, furry man.
Hey, fair enough. Where could this water be coming from?
This water?
Well, this water should come from both. The river feeds into
right
the
next to
water
the river.
system and then feeds back out.
Right. So most of this water is coming from the river, but some of it's from deep
Yeah.
aqueducts.
The aqueduct was built to carry water to the noble districts first.
I mean, the problem is everything's connected, so this water comes from everywhere in the city. No, it's all connected. That's why I'm saying if there's poison in the water, everyone has been poisoned.
Yeah.
No one cares.
With
though.
detect poison, if I pass a wisdom check, the book says I can determine the type of poison used.
Awesome.
But
Well,
with
now that
my
you're
character having no information,
well,
I'm
now
gonna move
now
up
that
to
you're in the pipe, close to it, roll that wisdom.
Nice. Holy shit! Plus my wisdom modifier of 4, so 23.
Okay. This
Okay.
this poison is from. This is not a naturally occurring poison. This poison comes from something that is. How do I put this? This poison isn't a poison that will only hurt you if it's ingested.
Okay.
This poison is not super deadly,
Okay.
but this poison's created by something as a natural byproduct of its existence.
Okay.
There's something in the sewers alive that is.
So there is a creature or a monster or there is something living in the sewers producing this poison, and you have to actually ingest it for it to attack you.
This is what we should do then.
Can I
Yeah.
roll a knowledge local?
If we can get a
That's what we learned.
sample of the
Sure.
poison, we could take it back, study it, figure out what it belongs to before we walk into the den of some
Or
monster.
we could walk into the den of some monster and kill the bitch.
Oh, I give up. Fine, we're
I
doing
mean,
it.
with the group we have, going and seeing what's at the beginning of this tunnel is probably a good idea.
It looks
sure,
like Bryce
great.
has been overruled.
Yeah, it's a great idea. Let's just. No, I'm walking. Let's go.
The portcullis has no way to stay open on its own, so once all the party members are inside, the portcullis
I
closes.
mean, why
behind you.
prepare for what we're gonna do? Just do it.
Is there a lock on
Can
the
you
inside?
open it from the inside?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's so when you go in, it goes slam, leaving you inside.
And it's okay.
Stop, please.
He hates it when I say that.
Kel's like, what?
What?
You begin to make your way
I'd rather
Down.
not be here as well.
the pipe system.
So I've been through this place
Pays good.
multiple times, right? Like,
It's been several weeks since you've been on the common district because it's not your zone,
yeah.
and you're looking around going, no one's been upkeeping this. Nobody.
Do I know who's supposed to be in charge of this area?
There are flow valves because this is a huge walking and it's got raised platforms on the sides. You guys aren't walking in the sewage. You're walking on the platforms on the sides,
Yeah.
and there's little bridges every now and then in between them. And there's some offshoot pipes, but they're not big enough for people to walk down. You only have really one way to go, and that's the main tube that's going to take you into the whole actual sewer system. But there's valves that are supposed to be like open to let like rainwater from the streets collect in, and they're closed. And they have so much water pressure behind them, they're dripping water.
Okay, these
Someone
need to be,
hasn't been working
these
here.
need to be open before we move on, because if these explode, we will drown. We need to open them one by one before we go.
Every
So
time
we
he
have
goes
to
and
get-
cranks one open, it just sprays sitting water.
We have to
Otherwise
get
this water
above.
pressure's gonna
Oh,
go.
that is disgusting.
We have to get
That
above
smells
flow beforehand.
Amazing.
Can I roll a fortitude to see if I don't vomit whatever I do?
Absolutely, sir.
This brings back some.
Yeah, no. Whatever I did
Memories.
isn't
Well,
there.
when he opens, when it sprays, you catch some of the wind splash in your face of rotting sitting
I'm
water.
really sorry, but whoever was supposed to be doing this hasn't done it in fucking months. So
So since I haven't eaten in a couple days, I dry heave like a motherfucker.
Not too happy about this either.
Smells like a red fang clan all over again.
The light coming from the exit is your only light right now. And then people have low light vision.
Bird.
So eventually you're going to have to make some sort of light source. The light coming from the end of the tube.
Does he even have a torch?
Yeah, I got you guys.
I cast light.
It's so bright!
He's there with a torch. Maka's with a torch and she goes, Raul Soraya, bless me with divine light. And this light goes,
Oh
It starts clawing.
you
in my
are
eyes.
blinded.
Bugbears
For a
have dark vision. don't
So you're
they?
just like, ah! Make
Sorry.
a reflex save.
Wow. 22.
Okay, you don't step off into the waist high sewage. You stay on.
God's ready, you son of a...
This orb of light's hovering behind. You put your hand on the orb of light, goes. Whoa.
I don't think he's okay.
Maybe whoever's working here
Sorry.
died. Maybe that's
This white divine light sitting there going.
Seems like it.
whatever is causing this poison killed the person who's working.
I'll start kind of leading the
My eyes are
way.
bleeding.
You hear something.
The only time I'm glad I can't see the ghost.
Okay.
What the fuck was that? Is that another portcullis?
This sounded like another pool.
What was that?
Came back from the exit.
I pull my bow out.
I say we go check that.
We'll check the entrance.
The portcullis has been locked from the outside and the top.
Oh, reasonable. Traps. I mean, that's.
We have the key though, right?
We have the
It's
key
locked.
to the
Locks on the
portcullis,
outside of
but
the
they
top.
put another lock on that.
You have the key and the lock.
Son of a bitch.
And the bars are about this big around. They're meant to stop like
Creatures.
monsters that may find their way into the water system from getting out and in.
Cool.
Now with the right spells and
That wasn't
time,
rude.
you could probably still get out.
Well, there's multiple exits. We're just gonna be down here a while.
Oh.
The water all of a sudden goes, and the water coming down towards the exit of the portcullis gate is
All right.
bright green.
No.
What is it?
Nope.
So,
Wait, so the water is
grab the
flowing
top
up,
and lift myself up.
against the flow now?
So he's planking off the pipes.
So the water that was flowing through the middle part of the sewer system, right below, doesn't like go above it, but it's coming with force, so a little bit splashing out into the walkways. But it's like you hear that weird roar at the same time that the water like starts to rush faster, and there's a chute of water coming that's like bright green, and it's making its way down,
You want your
almost
sample?
like a cartoony green.
Yeah, I'm gonna step inside
Is
first.
there
I'm
two
gonna
sheets here?
grab the ceiling and pull myself up.
Two sides.
Is there a fork here? at all?
Up ahead, about 20 feet, there's a little bridge. Left little bridges for the workers to go across.
Which way is it going?
Out towards to dump into the river.
Oh yeah.
Just gonna.
Yeah,
You
let's
wanna
just
get
get out
your
of the way.
sample?
Yeah, I'm gonna wait for it to pass though. There'll be some on the side.
It flushes by.
I'm gonna using like a, I don't know, some sort of tool. I'm gonna like get some in a bottle or something.
He
Tie a-
grabs a small water vial and a little
Flask
metal
to a
clamp
rope
and
and-
takes his little. Because normally I'd say like you don't have tools for that, but he is a water guild wizard, so
probably has
he
some.
has.
And
that.
he just got off work.
Oh, everything's
So he
shit.
has all of his tools with him.
Strange
Shaking.
poison.
Shaking.
He gathers the water up and puts it in his bag.
Anybody else here?
So now
have
he has
weird
green
knowledge?
water in a
I
vial.
did hear something.
The green swirls, Bryce, and it's different texture, consistency than the water, and it doesn't like combine. It's almost like oil.
Right. Doesn't surprise me.
Well, I'm gonna guess that's our super poison.
And that's why he's traveling water guild person. That's why it travels with the water, is pushed out, but doesn't just like sprout in the water, because it's thicker than the water.
Right. Creature code.
Okay.
I
That's
start
gross.
kind of walking towards it.
Walking in a pipe.
Really
Yes.
gross.
Unless you step in front of me, I'm already leading the way down the
Oh
pipe
no, I'm
with
stepping
my
in
light.
front of that light. That fucking hurt.
I'm sorry. I'll
And
warn you
you're-
next time.
You don't even have weapons. What are you gonna fight that beast with?
My faith?
Yeah, right.
Naughty
No.
words?
I suggest if we
A
do come
stern
across a
talking
monster,
to.
you stay very far away from it. Same with me,
I'll
honestly.
wagging my finger at it
Because
so
I
hard.
found faith isn't good protection. I tried that one.
Well, to each their own.
Oh, God, am I even going the
Morales and
right
Ray will
way?
protect you even if you do not trust them.
Well, there's really only one way to go.
Mm-hmm.
Down
So-
the
I'm
pipe
using-
right now.
And that's the way we're
listen,
heading.
No.
Like, And I'm still blinded.
You're using
It-
listen, but you hear it.
Well, at least I know I'm not going that way. So I have to go that way.
Which you do. You're a clop. Clop.
Alright.
Clop of a peg
Forward.
leg on cobblestone.
Until I regain my sight. Yeah. Dang.
Passing down the pass, going through this tunnel. It doesn't happen again for quite some time. The light, divine light's always difficult to work with because it kind of like comes and goes. So like it'll like dim down, then it brightens back up, and it's on her as an orb. It's a weird way to have a light. So it casts lots of funny shadows.
Can you cast light on things?
You can, but she didn't. She said I just cast it.
That's good.
She didn't cast it on something to make like a.
Didn't.
You can cast some people's
Walks up to a
fucking
character,
eyes.
light on your head.
Should have put it on my.
It's a classic way to blind somebody. You cast light on their eyes.
Yep.
They can't fucking see.
Or on their nose.
That would, I mean, that wouldn't work quite as well, but it would work.
It's right
Well, it's literally in your eyes. What are you gonna fucking see?
The light of everything.
So how is the party traveling? There's a lot of back and forth on the like little bridges, but how are you traveling down the actual sewer system?
I'm gonna
It's
try
not wide
and
enough for two people, is it?
I'm gonna try and lead
Not to
point.
walk side to side. You can walk side to
Sorry.
side with the water in the middle of you.
I'm gonna try and lead point.
Okay.
If that's all right with you guys.
Maces out.
Dual
I
maces.
will be on the other side, walking kind of par with him.
I'm
And
gonna
I'm
be
sure he's
behind
behind
him.
me.
I would like to not be alone.
I'm behind Mock with my light bulb.
So we got 3 on this side so far.
Oh. Oh, then.
I'm just gonna.
That
looks
goes
like we're-
slide
looks
to
like
the
we're
other.
probably
Does
3
that
and
mean
3.
you're behind your sister,
Yeah.
and then you're in the back, probably ready to run at a moment's notice to get away?
Yep. Not wrong.
Wait, who's behind
There's a couple
me?
things going through your head. I could escape.
You want to do it too?
I could die down here.
Wait, he's behind me?
Yep.
You want to keep in front of you?
And it's... Never mind. You know what?
Hey, it's it's okay. God damn.
I controlled myself.
So we got Mock on one side, we've got Beatrice on the other,
Yeah.
Aiden behind Beatrice,
Lemon behind Mock.
so that's 2 and 2.
And I'm behind Lemon.
And you're behind me.
Hey.
Okay,
3 and 3.
Okay.
perfect.
Fleshy squad, big squad.
Big boys for big boys.
Not fleshy.
No, but they are.
I
Oh wait, no, they
I
are.
have 5 hit points, 10 AC.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Mistook you.
Alicia, make a spot check.
14 AC.
Hopefully Lemon doesn't stop, because
20.
otherwise she's
Okay.
being gushed.
I got you beat.
You almost grab onto one of the outlet pipes just as you walk by. You know, just kind of put your hand on to like move by, but you don't because there's a rat the size of like a small car. Not really, but it's like this big. And you almost put your hand on it and you pull away in time. That would have been a roll to fall in the water, but you dodged it. You kind of like, whoa. She lets out this like squeak noise, which is funny that she just saw a giant rat in the sewer and then she squeaks.
Communicating with
We
locals.
all... I
Don't
jumped.
worry, the rats
Scared
trust
me.
me.
She, ah,
They know me in person.
Yeah, we got horses down here. Clop. Sorry.
you can travel down once again.
Rats.
Um,
By the way, my leg's really hard to walk on. It's not wet up here, right? Where we're walking.
it's a little slick,
All right.
so you have to be very careful with your steps.
Grippy pad.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm gonna put my leg back on.
Okay.
You guys mind waiting just a minute?
I'm good.
I switch out my one mace for my shield.
She's gonna pull out her leg.
You want
and
help?
I'm
I
gonna
think
say,
I
if you
finally
hold
got
on a
the
moment,
trick of how to
and then
put the
I'm
pin.
gonna oil it,
I got 17.
so the oil will help keep out the moisture.
He's on the other side though.
Well,
Yeah, but it won't take me much to get over.
There's a bridge. There's bridges, right?
He says
Oh, wait.
pole vaults.
He can just walk.
he can just take a step over the instead.
Right.
So as you go to put your leg on, the Garwin, this I like to call you a bard because it's almost comical.
God, I am a
This
part.
mountain of a man who's also a bard, begins to oil your leg up,
This will
Thanks.
keep the oyster out.
Yeah.
and your brother
Appreciate
helps
that.
you because it's much easier to put on when you got people helping you. You guys all get done. You stand back like a pit crew stand back from NASCAR. She
Mm-hmm.
steps down, and
Ah, good.
meanwhile, up ahead, Mock,
Solid left. He kicks over
to your left,
all of their bones.
there's an old
Gotta
rusted
show
metal
you a
door
trick.
on the
Well, not
walkway,
here.
like into the side of this passage, over here, and it's open.
On our walkway? Okay.
Okay.
You smell something. You
Guys,
smell
we got an open door.
carrion,
We got a lot of death.
dead flesh.
Moving forward, I'm gonna start moving up, but I'm gonna take my
So now that you
shields or
you
not
move into the
my shield
room.
away.
So Bryce, these are all over. You're not familiar with this one, but they're service doors. Because down here you have to have like the sewer system, especially after the time of the first queen when all those works were done, like all the pro like civil works. These sewers are actually pretty advanced, and there's all these service doors that lead into like small rooms or antechambers, like to store gear, or there's valves to shut off certain things in case of floods. Yeah, all that kind of stuff. So this is one of those doors, but you don't work in this district. So
Hold on.
Okay.
What kind of room?
So
If I get
go-
closer, can I tell what kind of room it is? If it's like a...
seems to be a pressure room,
Okay.
but he's already wheeled about into it.
Oh.
I'm gonna
Goodbye.
pull out my spear staff, pop them together, and have my long spear.
You watch him pull out a staff, right, and a spear. You make it a long spear or just a staff? What did you
I pull out a spear,
Yeah, we were
I
turning
pull
it
out a
into
staff, pop them together, and now I have a long staff.
The,
A
and
long
he,
spear.
you watch them slide one to the other, and then he clicks them together. Now he's got a long spear.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
I have a pen. I
I
have
have
pineapple.
Pineapple pen.
And suddenly we all
The smell of death is just.
I'm gonna take up the door first and scan the room. I'm gonna scan the situation first.
I have my bow.
I have my short bow out as well. Taking a couple
Rats
steps back.
pour out of the room
I have my long bow out.
and run and scurry past your feet as they run out. They scurry past all of your feet and run across the ledges. One of them dumps in the water. There's probably like 15 rats. Good-sized rats just run out of the room.
Oh,
You
that's
can
good.
see where they've been coming and going. The little rat feet have left little like.
I have a feeling you're finding
muddy
my
stains.
coworkers there.
I take those back down where we came from, make sure there's nothing behind.
The room's not very big. In your dark vision field, you're kind of watching behind. Did you make your way up to the light? You said.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I'm staying behind
So
Mom.
the light cast behind you, which gives you that second wait for your dark vision to cancel out. So you're blind for a second, but it doesn't hurt.
Because it's light and dark vision actually have the same distances. So.
Yeah. And sure enough, this is a pressure room. There's various valves for pressure for reading from the water coming in, and this is all to protect from floods, rainwater building in the streets. Well, it's all rusted and unused because this stuff goes rusty anyways. But laying in the corner, you can see the reason for all the rats. There's about a third of a body laying in the corner. It's been devoured from the feet up, leaving skeletal
All right,
remains
we're gonna be-
all the way up to the waist.
We're gonna be working together along.
So maybe from
What's
the
your
rats
name?
then?
Damn.
Hey, you wanna come check this out?
Not really. But I guess I will.
I don't have the knowledge that you do about all this water shit.
Well, I walk into the room.
I walk by him.
You walk in and you're met by that smell of death. There before you see sitting in the corner like I described, the skeletal corpse up to the waist, and then about a third of the flesh it should be has been eaten away by rats and bugs. You see beetles crawl out of the man's skull, his mouth, his jaw's almost fallen off. The flesh is beginning to not rot, but it's beginning to rot, but it's mostly being eaten away by all the insects. Flies buzz and things around it, like anything left in a sewer with bacteria and insects would be. He wears the same sash that you're wearing right now, which is the Water Guild sash across him.
Must be your coworker, huh?
Yeah. I mean, it looks like it.
What about these valves and everything? This
What? So he's been obviously being eaten by rats.
Yeah.
I can't tell who it is, I'm assuming.
I don't think the
Not
rats killed
really.
him though, right?
Oh, I doubt it. The rats around here aren't that big.
Unfortunately, there's not
Um,
really enough of a body to be able to tell.
Yeah, I mean, just
what happened.
Make a gather information. Anybody
I'm
who
gonna-
investigate the body?
I don't know what to do about the body, but
investigate
I'll
the
start
body.
looking around, looking at all the instruments. If I see if I can get any actual readings.
Many of the valves have gone beyond pressure, and it's a miracle they haven't blown.
My dice aren't being good tonight.
What has been
I've got
going
a
on?
9 for my gather information, so I probably didn't
I have
gather much.
18.
of
Place
this.
is a
18.
disaster.
Wait, what is it?
Gather
Gather
information.
information?
Yeah.
Wisdom based.
I've started. I did like
16.
charisma.
It's
Are
charisma.
they charisma blowing?
All right.
Yeah, you're gonna need to use some engineering on here to not engineering, but some An applicable skill.
Well, I have engineer.
Okay, roll that.
16.
20.
Okay. All of a sudden, not paying attention to the body, the macabre scene, the water wizard begins to pull valve levers, like dumping, and you hear water spraying out in pipes down the main line off the room. Anyone out there starts to see pipes down there opening and water spraying into the collection
How long
ditch.
has it been since anyone has touched these controls? Like, based on the pressure, could I
You
tell?
you want to say more than a couple days?
But this body looks like it's been here for like a week or something.
Yeah,
So probably like a week.
could be. Yeah, you have no real way of
No, yeah, it's
determining.
impossible to tell. But
It's been a rainy season.
So, yeah, the water pressure is never the same over
Yeah.
a period of time.
So you begin to relieve the pressure by like putting water into the system.
I searched the
You
body.
apparently don't keep a
For
good track of
notes.
your employees.
Well, she
I
searched
know.
the body first and got a 20. No, 18?
18.
Okay.
I helped as well and got a 16.
You find it, you're looking through him, and when his jaw fell down, you're like, ugh, and you look under his half-eaten, rat-gnawed jaw, and in his neck, there's a tiny arrow.
Can I?
Like a crossbow
Can
arrow?
I get it?
No, it's an arrow.
Can I get
It's
it?
only like this long. You reach in, it pulls out,
Oh.
and when he does, his head goes,
So
rolls off.
We're talking
Oh,
pixie arrow.
So,
Or a kobold.
who here is not hard of health, or who has a constitution below 15?
I'm not looking.
Below 15?
Roll.
I do.
Roll fortitude save.
Oh, nice
Oh,
pass.
yes.
I got,
I got
fucking
a
18.
17.
21.
Nice roll.
Nat 1.
Yes!
Neil,
You cannot hold your stomach.
you just watch the
in the
man's head
water.
roll off his body.
The only reason I
Fucking
don't-
done.
The only reason I don't feel is
I
I'm not.
begin to head back
fucking
towards the
paying attention.
primary port once we enter.
I only rolled a 5.
It's locked.
You're like, oh.
Fucking care.
With another lock from the outside. Don't
Find a
lock
way out.
Keldon,
Okay.
Mr.
I
Jard,
don't.
loses his
I start
courage and
following
begins to
you.
walk out. Mock begins to
Nope,
follow
nope,
him.
nope, nope, nope.
It is a
nope,
rough
nope,
built
nope,
arrow.
nope.
Beatrice, you have clothes. What?
Ah, yes. Ooh,
So, the
not
arrowhead-
very well made.
The arrowhead is some sort of small mammal's tooth, and the fletching on the arrow seems to be feathers, like little bird feathers, chicken feathers, and duck feathers.
This sounds like kobolds or goblins.
And you said this was stuck in like the back of his throat.
It's what?
You got shot in the
Followed
throat.
you, yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
right
No,
behind
it's like
you.
this.
Just walking with you.
I mean, what
Like
don't you
half
think?
the size of a normal.
Don't you think kobolds
Or
would make arrows out of
chicken
chicken
stuff.
feathers?
Arrow.
That's not even a kobold.
Don't worry. You're still on the right path.
Well, I mean, we
Yeah,
know
well, I
how he
can't see
died
shit after
now.
about
What?
60,
We know how
70
he
feet.
died.
So
You
like that.
catch him, and he's trying to talk to
Oh, I
you.
got shot.
If you turn around, but he can't really see you because it's pitch black, so he's just kind of looking in your direction.
I can see the light coming from the room because of our lights.
You can
though.
see his
Oh, that's
eyes
true.
glowing.
Oh yeah, there you go, spooky.
Spooky,
Oh,
scary skeleton.
Shevlin's down there.
Do I identify
It's like a nice yellow, like a wolf. Or
arrow?
cat.
Like what
Can
I
you
think
like
it's
not
called?
do that?
No.
Yeah,
You can't turn it
you can
off.
determine all these things because your fletching skill, how it's built,
But-
doesn't mean you know who made it.
There's light back there, and probably another exit.
And there's a fucking dead dude.
Yeah.
Bless you.
Excuse me.
Probably more dead
This-
guys that way too.
No, I'm done with this. I won't.
Is the Fez
I
still
will,
there?
I will take the fucking
Yes.
gallows at this point.
It's but when his head
Then you'd
fell,
be a
he
dead
found it
dude.
behind his body,
Is it in? Is it okay?
full of
I will find a
hair
way out.
and mess.
I might be able to help you with the
I was
way
gonna
out.
take it if it was okay. Because the Fezes are kind of expensive.
Enlighten me.
but
Perhaps
you
he
gotta keep
needs
pushing on.
passage to the other side.
There's another
Yes.
exit up
Whatever
ahead.
normal rights
No,
would be
that-
done, I will
How many
start
portcullises did he say there were?
doing those.
I don't know. You know who would know though?
I mean, until we can get you know the right people down here to
Yeah,
get the
yeah.
body and properly
Then
take
why
care
are
of
we,
it.
But what if
Are
his
we
god
walking
is
this
it
way?
also right?
I
Then your
I don't
rights
deal
are
with that
actually
body.
doing a disservice to him.
don't want to deal with that body.
All right, let's go.
I will stay outside the fucking door.
That's no problem.
I don't think she understands.
I start walking back.
I don't really
Whether you
understand
walk
religion,
back with me or not.
But I'm just saying, like,
I
if
am
I
simply-
worship
I walk back towards
I am
the left.
someone
simply
else,
conveying
and then I got killed by
my
kobolds,
wishes.
and then I sat in a sewer for a week,
of
I want my own
peace.
god. Never mind.
Whatever god this man may worship, I am simply trying to help him find some peace.
They seem to be having some sort of theological debate by the time you guys make
You
back.
could call it.
So what are your religions?
Or is it religions don't do you?
Alright. The only thing that does me is, and never mind.
Okay.
There's no note on his body. There's nothing else. He obviously was killed by some sort of tiny arrow
Mm-hmm.
that pierced him in the neck.
There's no notes of his work?
No. In fact, his water guild satchel that he would carry with all his tools is missing.
Well, if any intelligent creature killed him, they probably took him.
Probably. You're able to pull Jard back to the party, although he refuses to enter the room. What good he do in the room, that's...
You need to
I
go
was
back
done
in
in
there.
here.
Yes. I think we're actually done.
So did you finish doing rites to the body regardless?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I did.
Alright. So,
and he
she doesn't
done
seem to
the
heed your
vowels, right?
words.
So
What?
she doesn't seem to heed your words.
I didn't expect her to listen
Yeah.
to me.
Like I didn't expect her to listen. And you
can't
fix the
help but
vowels.
give his opinion. So.
Right. The party coalesces once again and begins to move down the passageway. Up ahead, the sound of the water gets louder, and you can see that there seems to be a collection pool. These are common down here, Bryce. 4 main waterways,
So
sewage
the
waterways,
jar?
collect
Right.
I can help
and
with
then
that whole
dump
upset
down
stomach thing you did,
to
right?
dump out. Some of them dump, as horrible as it is, in underground rivers.
It's not going to hurt you at all.
Because this
So-
is the year like 1623 in a fantasy world where they have no
I
concept
don't know
of
that's a bad idea.
the things they do
yeah.
are harming the environment.
I
so,
don't know that's a bad
Yeah,
idea.
so they're just like
Drop.
dumping wherever it goes.
Away from the city, please.
The walkways come up, and the one on the left stops. So all the party's gonna have to go gather on the right side, and it kind of winds around. And there's this big open area in the middle where these 4 waterways meet. A platform in the middle, and a huge platform over here. There's bits of debris all about this that you can see from her magical light, from Lemon's magical light casting, or divine light. Sorry, her divine light casting forward. She is the only light source you have now. You're way too far away from the tunnel to get any ambient light. There's like boxes stacked up on this platform. So you have to walk up, you have to go around this bend, which follows the circular water pattern. You know what a roundabout looks like?
Yep.
It's a roundabout of waters.
So
So it comes in this way mixes, the way you came mixes, this way mixes, and that way mixes, and they swirl and they drain into a huge grate that goes down into who knows where. There's a bridge that goes over this side, and then there's this platform over here, and there's like boxes, and it looks like a wagon? How did a wagon get down here? A small
Big
wagon.
enough? Oh, I was gonna say it's big enough for a wagon.
that's not supposed to be done.
How did a wagon get down here?
We shall
Well, it looks
investigate.
like we'll move towards the boxes to investigate this.
I investigate as well.
The party investigates. They
Well, I
make their
wanna
way.
see,
They make their way over
are
the
there
little
things
bridge.
in the boxes is kind of what I want to know. Like, what the wagon? How was the wagon made? Because how was it brought down here?
Bones.
Have we gotten any
Bones
more
and
little
blood.
spurts of that green fluid coming through?
No, not recently.
Okay. I was gonna say, try and keep an eye out for where that might be coming from. Now that we have multiple
Okay.
directions we can go.
You make your way across the little bridge, and now you find yourself among the debris. It's hard to search when one person has a light source and it goes where they're at. But also shadow casting and things like that.
Just
But-
let me know where you need like.
The boxes aren't hard to get into because they're all mostly decrepit and rotten. The boxes are full of old food and
Is there
garbage, junk, pieces of thread, small animal bones. It smells of body odor
I hate
and
it when people do
feces,
is,
but
is-
not like
is there
the
any
sewage
places?
feces.
Is there any places in the sewage where there's actually a place you could stick a torch if you actually had one?
Scones? Torch guns?
Torch
Oh,
guns?
I see what you're saying. Right now, there's plenty of places because the crates and stuff like that. You could just like stick something and hope it doesn't light the crate on fire.
What'd you say it smells like?
It smells like
Body odor
This-
and what?
I'm going to
fresh feces.
light a
This
torch
is a den.
near where we're going to search so that we actually have a
Garwin lights a torch. You hear skittering.
You're not alone.
This is
Ah.
a den. Something's in here with us. I draw my weapons.
Draw my bow.
Oh god.
And
I've not blow out the
it's
whole
okay.
goddamn time.
Whole time! You say that as we're surrounded by enemies.
we'll be alright.
Everyone draws their weapons.
Mm-hmm.
You hear this.
Start searching around.
My stick.
I start praying without casting any actual spells yet.
Ross and Ray, please protect us. You hear a kind of a low growl. You hear this like,
I have magic! Don't do it!
And, I have magic! Mog begins to growl back. And you hear him.
Yeah.
I didn't laugh. Sorry.
I don't know.
Jordan, what's your AC?
Intimidation.
14.
Rockadishu! You see an arrow go fly past your head.
Can I return fire that direction?
No, because I have roll initiative. So we have our initiative. You have obviously walked into some sort of den. Mock, the bugbear, smells it. He snarls and curls his lip as he smells the recently fresh markings of some sort of territorial creature. There was a weird yipping noise as an arrow flung past and barely missing Mr. Keldon's face.
My moneymaker.
At this point, the creatures in this place, the sewage system, the sewer, the denizens of this den decide to make their charge. They've obviously been watching you for some time, hiding in the shadows, and they decided you're a party they can take. We're going to see if they calculated wrong. For those of you watching, the DM is off screen. I will be moving about to place my tokens. Okay.
The Jahard is first.
What did you roll for your initiative, Jordan?
Huh?
What did you roll for your initiative?
I rolled an 18. With
Here.
improved initiative and my dex, I got
Thank you.
23.
Everybody pay attention to the board. The green is your water. Wherever you see purple, there's a wall that's impassable. You cannot go over that wall. If you see the purple meet the green on the board, like here, this wall ends. So this is a dead-end hallway. If you were over here, it's dead end. And then right here, where it turns green, that means you can step off into the water. This water all meets and swirls in the middle and goes down a drain. That hole is a big giant drain that goes who knows where.
Hundreds of feet.
So any of this area is standable. The water technically is also standable. We'll see how that goes.
Well,
The
That's how strong
Reach
you are,
over there better if you were on the
The
other
yipping
side.
and snarling creatures begin to surround you. There are two types of them. The first thing you see are kobolds. Small, red creatures. They look sort of like tiny yapping dogs, like if you bred a small child with an angry chihuahua. Each green token represents a kobold.
Bulls.
The kobolds are tiny creatures, no bigger than a small child, like I said before. Their pointed faces, long pointed ears, small, minuscule, three-fingered hands that end in dagger-like talons. They had come out of the shadows. They could easily hide from any of you and never be seen. So when they snuck out of the shadows, you weren't surprised that they could have avoided your detection. The goblins, on the other hand, were waiting. The goblins were waiting in the darkness of the boxes and supplies. Some crawl out from under the bridge
Supplies!
on the way there. And the other ones are making their way down the passageway.
Why'd you move the bar? Now I
Because that's where I wanted to. There, it's evident that you're not the first band of people to come down here and be jumped by them. This is where they attack people. This is their point of ambush. It's too well planned out for kobolds and goblins to do this unless they've done it over and over and over again.
The what?
Parl goblins, small, red to green skinned creatures, varying in those hues, anything in between,
sir.
even some shade of brown, have small pig turned up noses or super long pointed ones. Either one works. Pointed ears and completely devoid of any body hair. They wear mismatched armor made of pots, pans, pieces of plate mail, a shield, a buckler, sometimes even a sword strapped to their chest acts as some sort of armor. They carry simple weapons. Half the time, the danger of getting stabbed by a kobold or goblin isn't the weapon itself; it's the tetanus you get afterwards. They're disgusting, filthy creatures. No purpose on this Parl other than to inflict pain and be a nuisance. But even these small creatures, one kobold on its own, is nothing. But in numbers, they're dangerous. Who goes first?
Jard. Mr. Keldfellow.
Jordan, it's been a long time since you've been trapped in a sewer surrounded by goblins and kobolds. Not since your 18th birthday.
You know, that's such a prank, but whatever. They were harmless. Which is why I'm going to plug this
Can somebody fix
A little
the
bit.
character?
Right in front of me?
He's
You don't take up-
definitely not large.
10 squares?
That's really bad for you.
You have a long spear out, correct?
Guess I will.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
So you make a 5 foot step, so you did?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I've currently got my bow out. And I'm going to plug this guy right here.
Alright.
Do we have a pen to mark
Goblins
damage?
AC is 15.
Robert has both of the. Do you have a darker one?
The purple one is somewhere on the table. It's right here in my pocket. I lied.
What was the Goblin's AC?
15. Cool.
So
Nope.
a 5 is not going to pierce anything.
You don't have plus 10 to attack.
Ah!
What?
I let loose an arrow.
You draw your bow, you knock there, you pull it back, and then it dawns on you. When's the last time you shot a bow? Into the darkness. You let the arrow fly. She would probably laugh at you and make fun of your archery skills if it wasn't for the fact it's dark and she can't see. Your arrow misses, flings off into the darkness, rattles against the wall, the stone wall of the sewer system, and clatters to the ground. Who's next?
I don't have to miss.
Monk.
Well, that's up to you. Why you?
I knew it.
Save me.
You should go rape that.
Watch the kobolds.
Watch them. They're not pets.
Watch them. Like
I
that.
split up my attacks.
Okay. AC 15, each goblin.
Green is the left one, orange is the right
Alright,
one.
cool, thank you.
Plus 3 to attack on both of those. That's 2 9s. That's 2 9s.
Shit.
12.
Okay.
Foolish news.
If that hits. Does that
AC
hit?
15. AC 15?
Man.
Bugbear steps forward in 2 mighty swings, but the goblins are small and they're quick. It's not they're exceptionally hardy, they're just fast on their feet. He swings both and misses. His mace hits the ground in front of the first one, and he actually breaks the cobblestone under his tremendous might. The second one is an overhead swing, and the goblin's is too short. When it ducks, it's 4 inches tall. Not really, but it's very, very it's very, very short.
You're using heavy maces this time, right?
Next.
A pair of them.
Arrow.
Kobolds.
The kobolds yip and snarl and almost bark. It's like a weird mixture between a chirp and a bark.
I get to be stabbed.
There's a lot of wizards who think, Parl wizards who think that kobolds are either related to dragons somehow, and other ones think they're simply goblinoids.
Well, in like every other setting, kobolds are dragons.
But in Parl's the debate's still out. These ones, this is supposed to be green, by the way. See, they're double lines. That's the DM's mistake.
Dear.
I know.
They're doggo gobbos.
See, they're gonna jump in
Sling,
the
sling, sling, sling.
Wait, did I get slain?
Nope.
Nope. Me,
But they're beyond range.
the Behutress,
For a
and
sling.
the
Bard.
Bard.
So weird having a character named after one of your cats.
Hey, Eric.
I don't know why, this feels weird.
Well, your cat was originally named after the character.
That's true. Yes.
That's
Oh.
why her name was
That's a good
Beatrice.
point.
It all makes sense now.
Yeah, I named Beatrice
What
after
a
Beatrice.
world.
The kobolds come up, and like I said, this is good planning for such simple creatures. Because those kobolds run up to where that lip is, right before the wall, and you see that these ones all have slings. Actual staff slings for their height, and they start letting their small debris fly. 3 of them are firing rocks at you, and one of them is actually slinging a fork at you.
That could be bad. I mean,
Uh-oh.
you don't want a fork in the eye.
I am taking into account the range and
You
sling
need a
range.
fork, right?
So, Alicia, what's your AC?
17.
Miss. The fork flies over your head.
Oh, dang.
Change shirt and
We might
next.
need that.
The fork flies over my
Yes.
head? Oh.
Beatrice, AC.
15.
Miss. A sling stone bounces your feet, ricochets up, and hits you in the middle leg. No effect.
Ow.
You,
What do you mean that? It literally doesn't hurt.
Well, it's a good
Garland,
thing that
AC.
they're all shooting at my
18.
on my back.
how are you? Alright, cool. 18. Alright, so.
I'm thick.
I actually hit you.
I was gonna say those rocks should
It's
just
like
bounce
the
off
furthest
this
person
X.
away.
Two sling stones fly at you. You hear the first one hit by your head, which makes you turn, dink, ow! But it doesn't come with any force. You take 1 point of damage.
How many hit points you
One less.
got? That's better than
One
me.
less. Jerk.
It hits you in the face, like directly in the cheek. and the fatty part of the cheek, it just kind of bounces off. It's more of a nuisance than anything else. I mean, it hurts, don't get me wrong. You're glad you didn't catch the fork, though.
Great.
I'm glad I didn't catch the fork either, man.
I mean, if you had actually like caught it, that'd be pretty fucking cool.
Right.
Alright, so my
Eric.
kobold's on the other side.
Oh, playing a monk and throwing forks back at the kobolds would be hilarious.
Oh, Jar.
Oh, Chard.
I got this.
I'm glad.
You ran from. Okay.
Oh no, I was in melee with me.
Yeah, move a little bit forward, it is melee with you. We have our own homebrew rules. If you see things you're like, that doesn't work like that, it does for
Our
us.
game is a bastardization of third ed and second.
Yep, absolutely.
I was gonna say we really did have an awesome like second ed and 3.5, and they made a baby, and that's what we played.
Yeah. So we're gonna start with Mr. Jard. You hear this? They're not good at once they attack at not letting out their war cries. So you hear them coming, and it's like that, yip 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 yip, and they're running, just like screaming. So you obviously are not flanked by them or caught them off guard. So you see them coming. Kobold strikes you. AC doesn't matter anyways.
You rolled a
20.
20.
Already?
But just for the effect of critical, what is your AC?
14.
Oh, that's a crit. Okay.
Yeah. Do we want to use a crit chart in this game?
Have one downstairs.
I got it.
Because I have the second ed complete combat attack. That one's
Not for first session.
We don't need to die first. That
We will make you roll a d6 though. Neil, take control of your fate. Roll a d6.
happens a lot.
Pickle, pickle, pickle.
Chivalric.
1. Right arm.
Alright.
Alright.
Jar takes 8 points of damage to the right arm.
Oh, he's down.
He's. No,
Thank you.
That kobold fucking brutalized him.
The kobold runs. Wait. Hold on.
Did you seriously
Hold on.
just hit the ground?
He hit the ground.
Oh fuck.
Me too.
Hold on. A good DM knows when he should double check his stuff.
Kobolds might do like a d6 -1, which means they'll probably still get 0.
Right.
I was gonna say, what did you just get hit with?
Probably
Prop 2 spear.
Probably a scorpion on a stick.
You took 7.
Cool.
-1.
Cool.
That's good. That's an extra turn.
Yeah. -1.
To bleed out.
Yeah, with a priestess right next to
So the kobold runs forward his tiny little spear, and his spear is actually a kitchen knife
Oh,
tied to the
God.
end of a
That
metal
sounds
rod.
pretty good, actually.
Fucking French.
And he runs forward, he jumps up. When you turn, you put your arm up. Well, the spear goes through your arm
Is that
into
the
your
one
chest
that-
and pins your chest to your arm.
Is that the one that Sue let live? Or?
Might have been.
And pins you to the ground and jumps up, and Jar just and he hits the ground and like
That's one gangster kobold.
Oh no.
lemon.
God.
That's one.
17.
The kobold runs up to you, and he's wearing these tiny kestis that look like he's wrapped his hands in bandages and then dipped them in broken glass and nails
Oh my god.
with like glue. There's like tar on them, and he comes up and he's
I'm adopting
like,
this kobold.
like swinging at you, but he misses all his attacks.
I am adopting this kobold.
Come on, 2 kobolds.
Combat
AC.
Master Kobold.
AC 21. Because my thick hide, boy.
I would have hit you, but your AC's 21.
Thank
That means
God.
they need to roll 20s and they're not crits if they're 20.
Yeah. So,
Whoa.
so you take 1 point of damage.
So in our game, you need to roll a crit.
Yeah,
It's not a
I
crit.
can't crit you without a big enough degree of, but I did roll a 20. I rolled 2 20s first combat, like that to be said.
Well, you roll a lot of dice. You're the
You know what? Quit
Just
bragging.
stop bragging. Yeah.
I think he's rolled like 12 d20s already.
All
It's
right.
not bad anyway.
So the ones that come towards you are more traditionally armed. One has a spear, and the other one has a scorpion on the end of a stick.
Ah! No! No!
The scorpion's still moving.
No!
Of course.
It's not on a string. It's tied to the end of the stick.
It has
He doesn't
to be
hit you,
alive.
but he's going like this, and he's just kind of like thrusting in your
Yeah.
face. It's the other kobold who catches you right in the lower abdomen.
Oh, good. I'm so worried
It's a dirty surgeon scalpel
Ooh!
tied to the end of a pole. And he attempts to disembowel you with it. If you were another kobold, you'd be disemboweled. Who's next?
Ian.
This is bad.
Magic.
Good job, Jard.
Well, because I just saw Jar get
Sure,
stabbed
we'll
to
talk.
death. As far as I'm aware, he's dead. So, I'm gonna cast sleep right there.
Oh boy.
I'm gonna use my Alacritus Cogitation and cast sleep right there. So those 4 kobolds have to make DC 14
If I
wisdom
Shield out.
They have to do what?
DC 14 will saves.
Yeah.
Or false.
How many of them are getting infected?
Just
Four.
4 because it's 4
Four
hit
in
dice.
the corner.
You can only
Thank
advance
you.
4 hit dice.
You're far away, so I'm.
You want to do this one first? Are you doing all at the same time?
Oh, I'm gonna roll. Then I'll tell you which one's the.
Okay.
What'd you say the DC was?
14.
They all fail.
Oh, thank God.
Aiden puts his hands up. What feat did you use?
The Lachrus, it's the one that lets me leave one slot open. I can fill
That's
something
right.
later.
Okay. So
So good. So
he pulls from the back of his mind. He makes the incantation, weaves his hands around. The ethereal conjures from the air, and then like glitter dust, it slowly like
And of
wafts
course,
down
all of
on
Aiden's
top
magic
of
is
them.
blue, too, yeah.
Yeah. And so it's almost like the Sandman just kind of drizzles some sand over that. It looks like it. I feel like it just kind of like pixie dust, almost just kind of tinkle, 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 you know, down top. And the kobolds in the middle of their swings just start to yawn and slowly like start to just drop to the
Honestly,
ground mid
That
swing.
looks like probably the safest place to be.
Now
That
you
is
can
my
pick
turn.
up your Bobby boy.
Beatrice.
Actually, I'm gonna take one. No, that's
Oh.
yeah, I'm done.
I
You
didn't say
sure?
next turn, so if you want to move, you can.
Next turn. No, that's all. I was
Alright.
thinking about it, but
You should probably stay there.
Beatrice.
I can shoot over her, right? She's short.
yeah, direct lines.
there's no
Yeah, you don't
penalty
wanna
for
say-
I'd
shooting
wait.
through allies. I don't think.
I'd win.
Yeah.
It's not as far as
It's not
No,
a big deal.
Go for it.
She's
'Cause
not
I-
melee.
I have to
Oh,
take
she is in
care of
melee.
Jard.
No, she's not in melee because he's unconscious.
Yeah.
So no, you just be like, hey, duck.
Well, that and she has
Where?
point blank shot.
Right.
I do.
So you're fine.
So I get actually 2 attacks.
You have point blank shot.
Same or different?
Precise shot.
Different.
So you're within
We'll do
30, so you
this one and
plus
this one.
plus
Okay.
So now this one. One,
DC-15.
purple and whatever color that is.
Great swirl.
15. 10 or better. Purple was hit.
So it's your front guy.
The other one was a total 11.
So one hit, one miss.
1 hit, 1 miss.
Ooh,
And
excuse me.
2.
System.
Things I want to do to that kobold.
The things I want to do to that kobold.
Damage.
Which one? The one
The
that
one that
stabbed you?
stabbed me.
Or the one that tried to box you that you want to take home
one
as a
that
pet?
stabbed.
Plus 1, so this one got 2.
2 points of damage.
I'm not going to let you take one home as a pet. I'm just going to say that
They
right
might have 4 of
I don't know.
I just thought he was
Although the
really-
pugilist kobold would be an
Yeah.
interesting familiar.
You can hardly see the damage on it, but
What do you got?
I mean, if it ever gets hit again, it's gonna die.
A what?
Yeah,
Here, I'll
also
write it right
glues
here.
Glass to his hands when he does it.
There you
2. We can just smooth that if we have to.
The arrow strikes the goblin.
go. Oh, it's a goblin.
It's a goblin.
I could have rolled a 9. I mean,
The
like,
arrow
I could've-
strikes the goblin, and a kobold, it would most likely have dropped it. Goblins are slightly hardier. It strikes the goblin in the right shoulder. Now he lets out a wailing scream. It sounds like a pig and a child crying at the same time.
I don't want
It's
to.
horrendous.
It's horrendous. It just squeals. That's what we're gonna call it, a squeal.
Probably fucking
This
hurt.
guy.
Rod arrow into the shoulder. No one likes that.
Who's next?
Garwin.
Garwin the
Yeah,
Bard.
Garwin.
Destroy them. Charge down that hallway and
I
run them
step-
over.
This way?
That's right there. And then I strike the one right there next to it.
A long
Long
spear.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Poke him in the face.
The way.
I got a 16, did
5 plus 4.
11 damage points.
Oh crap! Okay, remove that goblin from the board.
That's a hell of a dead goblin.
No, it's when you use two-handed weapons,
One
you
and
use
one
one and a
half
half times your strength.
Yeah, so he does +6.
The bard takes a step, turns with his long spear, and just does this like one step forward thrust. The goblin doesn't see it coming. The blade, you less stab the goblin with the spear as you crush him with the spear. The force of your might, both hands behind the long range pole weapon, like kind of compresses him. When it hits him in the ribcage, he collapses. His death is instantaneous, and he slumps to the ground.
Getting hit by a car.
Yeah, pretty much.
Thanks for the assist.
Next.
I needed it.
Myself.
Oh, and I started the song.
No. Oh, yes. Yes.
nice.
So sorry.
So as he stabs, he's like, and then.
I am now
great.
inspiring courage to all can see me that is a friend.
I saved Jard's life.
Nice.
10. 10.
You're healed! The blessings
Jard,
of Rallis
Jard.
Brea
That kinda
upon
hurt.
you as you come back
You
to
see-
life.
You see the black washings of death fall over you, right? Your life is ebbing away. You're gonna go somewhere, although that somewhere doesn't seem too friendly. You don't know.
Oh gosh.
Have you made wrong decisions in your life?
Oh shit.
Is this how it ends? Cold, dead in a sewer? And then all of a sudden, BAM! Your eyes blast open in your head. The positive energy feeding into your corpse. the positive energy feeding into your body is so much at one time that it's like someone just took the paddles to
Well,
you.
if she'd done 12, you would have died, right?
Yes.
So that's pretty cool.
You
almost
can't do
died.
12 though,
So
right?
you're
No, that was
coming
my max.
you're coming back to life is almost as violent as you going to
So
death.
if you cure lightning, you could kill me.
By the way, everyone listening, in Parl, if you get healed over double your max hit points, it kills you because your body can't hold that much positive energy. It has to go somewhere, so it rips out through your flesh,
Nice.
Yes.
usually blowing at your eye sockets.
Damn.
So you awaken as violently, and you sit up immediately, like it shocks you.
Temporary
Awake.
hit points from this?
It shocks you awake, and you're just boom. You're like you're sitting up, and it feels like. And she's sitting back. Her hands glow with ethereal, divine white and blue light that like shimmers around them.
Screaming.
That was almost violent.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
There's still 3 goblins in front of him.
Blue, they're unconscious. Oh, the
No,
goblins.
no. Yeah.
Blue and white light.
Does he get
Keldon,
to stand up or no?
Like no, but it sits him up. Blue and white light almost like kind of like fades out of her eyes because so much ethereal divine magic was coursing through her body.
You really wanted to heal him, didn't you?
Oh yeah. I'm gonna let my people
It's
die.
only gonna get worse when she's like 5th level and heals for like 36.
Like,
But I've only got 14!
Didn't like
Who's
you
next?
anyway.
The goblins.
goblins.
Last in the round. Nobody on this team is dying.
Alright, Gobos.
Friggin' goblos. Well, Jared was awoken just to be stabbed 3 times again.
I mean, at least he's at full health
Because now the
now.
goblin sees that he's
Shouldn't have
awake.
sat up.
Okay, remember we're still
I know,
hiding.
we're gonna get to it.
Choice!
We'll get to you in a second, but remind me, because I'm forgetful. You sit up and see goblins charging towards you. They come screaming.
How long?
One
did
of them
they
is
sleep for?
completely nude,
Sleep? For at least like an hour.
and he's wearing
Oh,
a
that's when it
shield
wakes him up.
buckler with a spike on his chest. And he looks like he's trying to jump on you.
Gonna hug the hell out you, fam.
You need
What's
love.
your AC, flat-footed?
Flat-footed AC, minus my dex is going to be a hold well. Can I declare dodge?
No,
Then it's 12.
because you were just dead.
I was just dead.
You mean he is dead?
Well, hopefully this time they won't.
Miss.
Yeah.
Rolls a 2. The naked goblin fails to chest thrust you with his spiked shield plate.
Everything after this.
Probably makes it a little awkward as it's like all over you.
The next goblin. He's got a meat cleaver. He pulls from his waistband.
Brutal.
Goblins are creatures of opportunity.
Oh, yeah.
A meat cleaver to a goblin. He misses. I rolled a 3. He comes up and somehow you are more deft at dodging the attacks when you're sitting on your butt. The goblin screams, swinging at you.
I've had a lot of experience
you're making
dodging from a seating position.
Just accepting his fate.
No, sir, I didn't realize
Now-
it was your daughter.
The goblin behind those 2 goblins is doing this. He's doing this dance and he's screaming Rockanishu.
Rockanishu.
Rockanishu, Rockanishu. We'll feed you to Rockanishu.
Oh god.
Fucking go.
Alright, Bard. You have a 10-foot spear. You get one of our attack of opportunity because they're moving towards you.
First guy in a row, yes. Opportunity. Roll a good old fashioned.
That's a hit.
Yeah.
If you
18.
wait for your
Get
turns after me,
12
I
to
can give
him.
you plus
Okay.
same. Get you plus 2 to hit. You should pass that on too.
And now they're not in melee.
He plans on using his bow as well.
The goblins
Oh, yeah,
come
that's-
running single file down
He's
the
in melee now,
archway.
he'll
Well,
probably
he's
Yeah.
right
the
there. That was
hallway.
not melee with me, but I'm melee with him.
You watch the bard.
Saving a healing
Can-
spell.
You watch the bard take his spear, turn, plant it into the goblin, pick him up, and throw him off the other side edge into the water.
Oh,
Who? Where? Oh, you already got him.
He's dead when he stabbed.
he already pulled one off.
Okay.
There's
The
already
goblin's
another
holding the
one.
spear and it's like, oh no! As it flies off across.
Why is the bard the best fighter? That's all I want.
So good.
Because in Parl, anything's possible. Alright, who's next?
Well, you throw 18
Oh my god.
strength on a wizard. so
If that's all your goblins, it's a round restart, and it's J hard.
That's gross, but okay.
I mean, it's how you spell your name.
No, it's not.
Jahard. J hard.
It's Jahard.
We're worried about him not dying and less about his name spelling.
Jahard.
I don't know.
Jahard.
Shit. Here's my problem. The only way to get away would be to tumble.
You can take a 5-foot step.
From my ass?
Yeah. That's the only thing you can do in the round.
Yeah.
And then they'll walk up and stab you.
Or fight them for the seat of position.
Or fight them.
Fight him on their level.
Which means you get -2 to attack, and you have they're above you. Although I guess they're small creatures.
Or you could have faith and just stand up.
You can just fan it.
Or get it.
Take that.
You could be like, can you heal again? Because I'm just gonna stand up.
Well, if you stand up, you won't be flat-footed.
Yes, I can
You
heal you,
wanna
again.
you
Well,
wanna
if
do
you do
here?
have tumble, couldn't you just stand up with the tumble and not have the opportunity?
Actually, if I did tumble, I forgot that these two are sleeping, so they're not going to get attacks of opportunity.
No.
No.
Can I tumble that way?
Technically, you can kind of tumble in any direction, but Bryce is looking up tumble real quick.
I
Because
just
if
want
I
to
can
make
tumble
sure I know how tumble
out
works.
of
I think I know how it
combat
works.
and get to
We
my
know a
feet
lot of
that
rules.
way,
We always like to check them because you can't keep all that stuff in your brain at the same time.
Like that.
basically Dark Souls roll
Yeah.
backwards.
None of
To
us,
my
none of us
feet?
here are Spencer Reed from Criminal Minds. We do not have a photographic and eidetic memory.
Well, I have a real career and job stuff to do, so I keep my brain on that.
Yeah, right.
And I'm known for coding rules wrong. I'm a good storyteller, not a rules guy. Makes me a terrible DM.
That's what Bryce is for. Bryce remembers rules pretty well.
Okay, so if you make a 15 DC tumble, you can move at half speed, provoking no attacks or opportunity while doing so. If
Okay.
you fail, it's just if you fail, you still only move half speed and you provoke attacks or
So
opportunity.
roll it if you want.
If you hit a 25, you can move through enemies without provoking attack or opportunity.
Yeah, no, I can't tumble that well.
So you gonna do it?
So you need to get a 15.
Is the floor wet, Robert?
Mildly, yes.
Okay, well technically that would make the DC 7.
Okay, DC 17.
Not worth it. I'm not gonna make that. I don't have any bonuses to it on my dex.
So,
I'm going to.
You also have to check for every opponent, so you have to make 3 rolls.
2.
Q.
Oh, you're right, sorry.
time is counting out. 5.
I'm gonna
4.
cut the one that looks wounded
Okay.
from my position now.
Okay. One with the arrow in him.
So scared. Stab him. Pull my rapier and 11 plus 0.
11.
11.
Okay. You take a swipe with your rapier from a seated position towards the goblin, who simply dodges out of the way.
Difficult weapon while used while standing.
Yeah.
Or sitting.
Especially sitting, especially when he swings it the wrong way. Doesn't poke, he swings with it. Who's next?
It's like a whip.
Mop.
Well, I focus both hits on that Gobbo.
The one that's conscious, right?
Yeah. I mean,
The
might
one that
as
still
well.
exists?
You took care of everything else.
Well, I don't think this is going to be overkill.
1 hits
Oh, it's dead, most likely.
for 7 damage.
Okay. The goblin standing in front of you is jumping back and forth, trying to anticipate your attack. You take both of them and just swing at the same time, side to side.
Oh.
There's not much you can do. He tries to duck, which means that your left hand misses, but your right swing connects right with the side of his skull. The sound is the same as if you take a cantaloupe and you threw it off a building.
Oh.
When it hits the ground, it's a kerspletch. His head almost blows off his body.
Jesus.
And you actually end up like pulling Goblin off your mace.
Damn. Yeah, putting the mason again. And then I'm going to 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay. Next.
Kobolds.
Okay, so my kobolds are asleep.
Not all of them.
No, I mean, yeah, you're right. I meant those kobolds are asleep. These ones.
So are they gonna sling more shit at us?
Yep.
Really?
Actual.
But they can't see over this wall. So they do that. So, hey, Jard, they're slinging at you.
Okay.
What is wrong with you?
No, actually, yeah, they are slinging.
He's in
Oh.
obscured.
Nice. Hold on a second.
He is in combat, so they get negatives.
That sounded like a nat 20.
They need 4 to attack.
So the one directly in front of you, the goblin who took an arrow, he's ah, ah, then you hear a whack, and he just falls over.
This one?
No, the one directly in front. Yep, that one. He just took a sling bolt fumble from the kobold behind him to the back of his head and killed him.
Nice.
If he's not dead, he's unconscious.
Oh,
he
do you want me to
just
keep
like
him on the board?
he's out of combat for effective combat. He falls to the ground. You see the kobold like. He takes his look on his face like, oh, what have I done? Alright, and then I got 2 attacks on my archer. What's your AC?
I have 15.
I hit you.
Kick it.
How many damage would her kicking something? Like a D12?
You take 1 point of damage.
Should do a lot of damage. Especially if you
Like
start,
you wind
start it
up her
and then
leg,
kick
and instead of
And I'm like getting
jumping,
ready to
kick
jump, and then I
somebody.
kick somebody. Yeah,
I mean,
that
that'd
would
be cool, like
hurt.
getting kicked.
You feel a thwack, and then a weird fluttering feeling, and there is a giant rhinoceros beetle in your hair.
What?
Okay.
He threw a beetle at you.
And a sling?
Yep.
The beetle's all like half dead, but like trying to fly away, and like it looked like it was, and you're like and you see that it was tied, like someone tied it together.
That's rude.
You gotta give it to goblins and kobolds for the ingenuity. He always throws beetles at you.
Oh my god.
Make a will save.
Pretty amazing, honestly.
Are you scared
I'm
of
sorry.
bugs?
Make a reflex save to clear it out, so you don't suffer negative to attacks while you're trying to get the bug out of your hair. Okay, so you're.
No.
I rolled a 1.
All right. Well, you can't really fumble on your save.
Clearly, I don't like bugs.
Who's next?
This is news.
And
Which one threw the bug?
The one that threw the bug is the farthest one away.
This one?
Void?
Flaming sphere.
I'm gonna throw an orb of coal. I'm gonna throw an orb of frost at him. That's her orb of frost.
Over here?
Range
guy?
touch.
Which guy?
The one that farthest one
Right
away.
that
Okay, that guy.
Oh.
What's his touch AC?
He's a kobold, so his touch AC. 12.
Make it +1.
Wow.
he hit exactly.
I hope you're all remembering that you have a bard.
That's why I have
Oh, you
+1.
got a +1.
Okay.
Nice.
And he did at least 2 points of damage.
Well, I don't add that to damage.
All right. Well, I gotta roll his hit points.
So dead Bart's on.
Then 2.
Oh,
And
he's dead.
adds one
He's
to,
dead?
Oh, I did
it adds one to your chance to get and to
Basically,
your
throw a
attack
snowball
roll,
on his face.
Don't worry, I got the bug,
and to
bitch.
your fear and charm.
Aiden steps aside.
You ever call
Sub-zeros
me
him.
bug bitch, I'll kill
He
you.
pulls out of the ether and the air around all the moisture and solidifies it. It's like basically an ice cube, an ice sphere, right? And he like throws it forward. It less hits him with a magical force of cold than it hits him like you threw a chunk of ice at him. Yeah.
Ow.
And it bing, and he staggers backwards and falls in the water.
I don't think it actually killed him, but I got him.
Well, he staggers sideways and he falls in the.
Got him.
You see his little arm sticking up as the kobold swirled around and goes down the hole.
Theo.
Feels good to be a wizard. Man.
Who's next?
Beatrice.
Feels good to be
I
a
did
gangster.
call her Bio. Beatrice?
Beatrice.
Who's next?
Well, I mean, because the cat is Beho, so she's Bio.
I still feel like you're in danger, so I'm gonna
He is definitely in danger.
I'm gonna split my attacks, one on this guy, one on this
I
guy.
feel like I'm in danger.
Purple, other color. Hit and a miss again.
I'm all sitting there.
It's almost like you guys are all level 1.
I'm all sitting there looking at the pieces.
And 9.
He's dead. He's swinging this cleaver at you. This arrow goes, ha! And he eats it. Like it goes through the back of his throat, and he.
Damn.
Falls to the ground. Cleaver, tang, 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 tang. Across the ground.
You need that?
Who's next?
Actually, it might be useful.
Garwin.
Garwin strikes at the goblin there in front of him. He missed.
Garwin finally misses.
Yeah,
Well, he had to
The
return.
goblin actually is yelling, spear, 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 as he starts like stabbing at him, and the goblin's like jumping while he's yelling spear. Goblins are stupid. Alright.
Are they though? Maybe
Parl goblins generally are very stupid, yes.
But like they have their own intelligence.
They're cunning.
Yeah, cunning.
They tie beetles to sticks and throw them at you.
That's mostly the point.
Alright. So who's next?
Lemon.
Rhinoceros people.
Lemon.
Rhinoceros.
The only goblin left in front of Jarn.
Ray of fire. No, it's good.
No.
How did you do that?
Command.
Okay.
Drop your weapon.
DC.
DC 19.
Holy.
So,
Isn't that
Alright,
amazing?
I ban your character.
No.
Isn't that amazing?
But she can never cast like pillar of fire.
I know. Isn't that
I
terrible?
get a -1 save to that.
So DC
I have to roll a 20.
20.
I rolled a 13.
Isn't that incredible?
The goblin. Okay. Clink, clink. He looks at me and goes, why?
And then can you move me over behind Mop? One more forward.
Because they know they've
Yeah.
been commanded.
Yeah.
But
Well,
he can't comprehend how
That way,
that works.
if anybody else needs me.
why did I do that?
There you go, Jard. Don't die again.
Next is the goblins.
MVP award goes to. All right.
Lemon.
Goblins.
Gobble.
Just saying, my kill counts 5.
What?
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Oh, you running? Oh, no, you ain't running. No, you don't run.
He's running away. Straight. He's like, I don't know why I did that.
Because I told you to.
I know. I get it.
And then you got the 2 in front of me.
Yeah, they're brave because they think of numbers. So they see 2 of them, 1 of you.
Oh, yes.
Attack versus. I just love them.
That would be an attack of opportunity for. In fact, that would be 2 attacks.
But you can only make
Oh,
it.
You can only make 1 because it doesn't have.
Because you don't have the dex for it.
So you don't get to make one though.
It's not dex. It's just.
I don't have the feet for it.
How big is this? Is this like a
Do you want
wall all the way up?
Do you want me to roll the attack of opportunity now?
Yes, please.
I hit for 13.
Okay, well he's dead. Bam! Not that one. That was the one that came from behind.
What?
The one in front of me.
Yeah, the one in
He has to hit the one that provoked the attack of opportunity first.
So that was the one yelling spear, right? And he jumps forward and he goes, spear, spear, spear. And now he's like more aggressive, like he's almost mocking the spear.
Mm-hmm.
He's mocking it until you hit him in the thigh, which pins him to the ground, and you toss him in the water. And he's spear, 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 spear. And he flash. And he, and he swirls around. The other one sneaks around behind where you're killing his friend and goes after the wizard. He runs
realizes
towards you
he's
screaming,
outnumbered.
Spellman, Spellman!
Yeah, you better stand the fuck back or I'll blow you up, bitch!
And he rolls a fumble.
Thank God, I kill him with my stick.
No, you don't.
Yeah, not even one will hold
That would
on.
have been amazing.
But what happens is he's running, he just kind of eats shit. Like he trips over the stones, like the flagstone, the cobblestone floor, and he just like slides.
I'm out of spells to attack him, so I'm going to run on it.
Okay, who's next?
Round restart. Jard.
Jard, do something. Stand up.
Good job.
What the hell?
Now, the
just
funniest thing would be to
happened?
watch Jard just move his character over and jump in the water.
Goodbye.
Think it didn't cross my mind.
This has to be better than that.
I like to picture this whole scene is like this. Like Jard walks in the room, he's like, okay. The fuck is that?
I quit adventuring. I'm done.
I didn't want to do this. I want to go back to the prison.
Yeah, go back to jail, man. Screw this.
Here's the kicker thing.
You move over.
I'm gonna coup de grace that one next to us.
Okay.
Because it's the easiest thing to do.
No!
Oh, wait. Well, you don't know that.
You don't know that.
Ah!
No, I don't.
And there's no saving
But
throw.
you feel it
So
now.
go ahead.
So, do I even need to
Did I
roll
miss
coup de
something?
grace?
No.
No, it's good.
My
Cool.
vow of nonviolence.
You take your blade out and you're like, stupid, you sink. And all of a sudden something happens. Lemon goes, ah! And it feels like someone just took a ball peen hammer and hit you in the back of the chest through to the heart.
Oh.
Right? This feeling of sorrow and like shame and darkness just falls upon the
Now, does
party.
that happen to everybody?
No,
just
it
the
only
person who
affects
did it.
Jard.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we could all feel it.
Yeah, you all feel it because she's emitting this aura, and all of a sudden you feel like you were the worst person to ever exist. So like every other
I feel
day.
bad.
What did I do?
What did you do?
You killed a defenseless kobold.
Why do I feel bad?
You're not affected with a penalty. He is.
Yeah,
She's emitting this
attack
aura.
for an hour, dude.
All right,
Oh,
who's
wait,
next?
You'll have to explain that in a minute, because I
It's-
don't
it's
understand
me.
what's happening.
Because of her vow.
I have a vow of nonviolence. So if anybody in my group or if somebody near me, say I'm even walking down the street and somebody just like stabs a child, that person, if they are within like 100 feet of me, now gets a -1 per level to their attack for the next hour because of my vow of nonviolence.
It's a -1 per kill up to your level.
Yeah.
Wow.
So because I killed a defenseless creature,
You now suffer.
I have to suffer.
But my players don't metagame, so even though Neil knew that, his character wouldn't.
Look at how on earth would Jard have known that he was gonna feel. Jard never feels bad when he stabs defenseless kobolds, right?
I mean, it's a fucking kobold.
That was the one that stabbed you, I'm pretty sure.
Asshole.
Actually,
I really want to
nobody would know about that
No.
other than myself.
Who's next?
It's me.
Combat zone's over.
It's me, that's what I'm saying. I'm looking at this kobold and I'm like, I really wanted to keep
And in
it.
the background, you can hear Ayan fighting this other guy. Riposte! Riposte!
Alright,
That's what
I'm
you say, right?
coming.
Deflect!
1,
Strike!
2, 3, 4. I come running across.
The bugbear just like kind of rolls over.
Whack! And I shed both of my attacks onto him. That's 2 hits.
Oh, he's
Well, let's not roll that.
Can we please
What's
roll
your
it?
total
I want to
damage?
know how destroyed this kobold
8
is.
plus
Goblin.
5, 13.
okay. So just like the bard hitting him, you hit him both times. The first hit hits him in the gut and lifts him up in the air, and he's like kind of levitates off your mace for a second. And the second hit, you just basically punch him with the mace.
Baseball him.
He hits the wall. Suck this! And he splats. Splats. Hits the ground.
You good?
Okay.
I was fine.
Cool.
Good.
It's all probably sweat. I was okay.
Kobolds.
I haven't been stabbed yet.
I'm
Failed
looking
round.
around for looking around for other people. Wait.
Run, bitch,
Running?
run!
Oh, the numbers just turned, didn't it?
Yes.
Maybe.
Unless you give chase, the combat is effectively over.
Maybe I get to. Oh.
I wanna.
You're definitely faster.
Is it your turn?
No, I'm not. I'm going first person.
Oh, you're an
They're actually escaping, so anyone can take any attacking
I'm gonna
action.
take a final bolt.
Clamps.
Short bow shot at one.
I walk over to this one and
missed
I
Now,
tie it up.
you
Nat
missed.
20?
You missed. That's good because they're no longer fighting you; they're fleeing. So,
Means if you hit one and kill it, you still get the
so
negative.
Jard, as they're fleeing away, they're no longer a threat to the party. They're no longer a threat. Jard takes out a bolt.
I short bow,
Yeah.
arrow. So
Yeah.
Pull the quiver.
He takes out an arrow and he draws it. And finally, after all the combat, his aim is true. He lets his arrow fly. The goblin's running. So the last one to go. He's rounding the corner. The goblin looks back and he goes. He kind of snickers and he catches the arrow in the teeth, and it blows through his head. The arrow goes through his body.
Ha!
Now you feel worse.
Now you feel even worse.
That's 2 hours. Not less than.
No, I think
Actually, it maxed out at 1. 'cause
it
it's only
maxes out at 1.
But that feeling hits you
but
again. Those
now-
pangs of shame and guilt run up your spine.
I drop
Now
my
you'll
short bow.
Yeah.
now you'll have -2.
No, the
No,
penalty.
You can only keep -1.
He can only
But
keep
it just
-1.
restarted.
Oh yeah, so it restarted. So
The
now you get a
pen-
new
The
hour.
penalty can only be equal to your life.
Tied up to Pedro's kobold.
Okay. Yeah, we've got 4 unconscious kobolds that need to be.
They're
What, the
sleeping.
pugil's kobold?
Fuck yeah, I tied him up.
Keep missing that.
I saw my opportunity. I took it.
Now it's time for the party to make a decision. The battle is won. We'll insert epic fight scene win music here. But what to do with the ones? They're kobolds. They're evil creatures. They will do more harm and damage.
Oh no, if we let them go, they would go
Take
back.
Why don't we just turn them over to the authorities?
Why don't we just throw him in the water?
Yeah.
I mean, that's. I mean, it's
Well-
kind of cool. We'll ground it there. I guess.
It will negatively affect you if you.
I'm not killing them. They're
Throw
drowning
them.
up there on the cord. They can't swim. Not my fault.
Still your fault.
Some of you are like licking wounds. Your face is kind of puffed up from the woundage. The cut in your stomach hasn't bleed too bad. Oh, by the way,
Oh,
you pull a beetle wing out of your hair.
You.
On the ground.
I'm gonna make a
Sore,
will save
sweaty.
to try to muster up enough will to throw these things in the water.
I'm gonna put one in the water too because I don't know. That it
Do I
affects me.
get like this punch to the gut every time
I
they
go
do
to
this?
grab one and
You're torn
I'm
because
stuck.
they are violent, evil creatures.
Right, but they're
Right.
helpless right now.
But they're helpless right now. But you know in your wisdom that they will hurt people.
I'm just
So
thinking, if these
I will go
here's
tie
how I
up-
solve
tie them
this
up.
problem.
Uh-huh.
I can, once the kobolds wake up, I can make them swear to me that they will do no more harm, and when they break that vow, anyone in my party can then go after these kobolds without triggering the negative side of my vow of nonviolence.
How-
we're
how
never
do they
gonna know if these. Maybe they were gonna stick around and keep track of these.
How about
fucking
this?
three
How about
kobolds.
this?
Well, Rexy already said she's gonna do it.
Yeah.
So they
we're
all
talking about this.
The party just tosses all the kobolds in the water.
So who's tossing a kobold now?
So-
I vote that we bring them back and
I
turn to the authorities so they
I
can
grabbed
carry
one
it.
Nope.
and I got it to the
Okay.
edge and I cannot bring myself to let it go in the water.
I mean, I don't
Okay.
care that
I'm,
much.
I'm literally
So imagine if you
You've
will.
got a -1 to attack for an hour.
Imagine if
Nice.
you will, Jard, like holding the kobold there, and you can't do it, and you watch,
till I
and
go
you
to-
watch.
You
Attack.
over.
You yeet the kobold into the water, and you instantly feel regret.
But he's not
and
dead
sadness.
yet.
It doesn't matter.
Well, I was gonna
But he's
grab
not
it.
dead
You
yet.
have caused harm to a
Well, we're gonna
helpless
see.
animal.
That's a gray area. We're gonna see something. I want to make you will save. Because it's all about perspective, right?
They live in a sewer. Can't they swim?
Roll a will save.
I bark at Jard. I'm like, hey Jard! Ah! I think I might keep.
Roll a reflex.
Shit. 18 in total.
Okay.
Oh.
So you can hold on if you like, or drop him by accident.
This was a den, right?
Oh,
They're
but
all-
I like.
But I want you to imagine the scene. You're freaking out. He yells. You're like, ah! She in the background just yeets one in the water. She just picks it up and yeet, and it just flies off in the water. Sploosh. And she's got to look around. Did you make a will save? It doesn't allow for will saves, but this is a very gray area of effect.
13.
This is
Okay.
DM's discretion. This is
Yeah,
exactly
so
what
she
DM's
kind of
all
like looks at
about.
it. She's like, you're like, huh?
It's like a smaller.
I don't know if that was the right thing to do. You grab the next one.
Yeah.
She yeet.
Another will save?
Yeah.
No, you have to make one will save for the scene.
When he.
19?
Because you've
Oh,
already
okay.
made it okay in your own head that they are dangerous monsters.
Yeah.
Because are they really humanoids? Now, if you're throwing like an elf into the water, or a halfling, because the rules say it has to be a logical creature. Well, they kind of, kobolds kind of
Float that gray area.
float that gray area. So you
No,
still
I'm
feel
having
bad.
fun.
I'm like,
And there's a big difference between getting rid of one that's still alive
yeah, and
and
actually,
stabbing one that's asleep.
yeah.
I end up tossing him back onto the cobblestone.
I
She walks over, throws him in the water.
I searched through all the stuff. Actually,
What's wrong with him?
He just falls to his knees and begins to weep as you're throwing the last. You're just like, whoop.
I
The kobold in the
try
middle
to-
there is like,
I try to comfort Jard. I'm like, it's okay.
why is he
It'll
here?
be
though?
better.
Why is he crying?
It's okay, Jard.
I don't understand.
It'll get better.
Is it something I
with
did?
time, I promise.
Well, I mean, you're killing.
you reach in and grab
They're
some,
swimming?
some healing.
There he goes.
I know. I know.
Some
It's
healing
okay. I
spells.
promise.
Drowning, more like it.
It
And
really is okay.
you search through all of the kobold's belongings and find nothing really of intrinsic value. In all coinage or bits worth money, the party is able to discover about 4 gold,
Sick,
10 silver,
sick, nasty.
and about 30 copper. Most of the copper comes from a small copper statue and a bowl. And the bowl is anatomically correct.
Of course.
Nice.
30?
30
Um,
number.
Is that cleaver in a salvageable condition?
Yeah, it just needs to be put on a grindstone for a little bit.
A present for you after my break.
It's a meat cleaver.
Oh,
Any more kobolds to throw in the water?
Like, I mean,
Mock's pet.
Oh,
You're not enjoying throwing the
I'm
kobolds
debating
in the
something.
water.
yeah, no.
No.
Mock's
No.
got
Okay,
one
Mock-
tied up.
he begins to awaken.
He got the
Yeah,
pugilist.
he looks up. All of a sudden, you hear the scream.
Hey, shut up! I say in Goblin, like, shut up.
Huh?
You wanna live?
Take me to your leader.
No. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, you wanna live.
Yes. Yes. He's lying on the ground, all tied up, looking at you, shivering. He starts giving you big, doughy kobold eyes.
Is he hurt
Don't
at all?
look sad at me.
Aw.
He starts to whine.
I mean, it would be cute if that kobold probably
I'm
had
glad
young
you fighting.
children.
Very good.
Fist fighting.
I show you. He starts like biting the air.
Wait a minute. We're not bringing this kobold. That is not an option.
Boxing kobold? That's
No!
bad.
This kobold is gonna kill one of us in our sleep.
Fine.
Wait, no, I mean good.
That's not what I meant! You people are all fucking psychopaths! Holy shit!
Ian, it's okay.
He's I fight good. Sploosh.
They can swim.
He's tied up! He's tied up!
We're all tied up.
What do you mean he can swim?
They can't swim when they're tied. They're just gonna drown.
Holy shit!
Well, so
Okay.
DM has not much more to say about that.
Well, I'm gonna keep a kobold as a pet, or I kill kobolds.
Well,
I don't like 'em.
any weapons you find or tools are degraded or you wouldn't want to use, or they cover some sort of sticky film that smells like pee. There's
That's
nothing
gross.
really of use. Now, on the plus side, I hope you can take away from this lemon, you have cleared out a den of evil kobolds and goblins, which
Yes.
obviously would be marauding people and doing damage. Goblins and kobolds are not known in Parl for their ability to like turn the tide and like be good guys and save the world. So, you know, it all depends on how you're going to build that in your own psyche, whether you did a good thing or bad thing. You now have some images in your mind of yeeting kobolds into the water where they're going to drown. Hopefully they wash out somewhere and lay there until some other bigger animal comes and eats them anyways. So, that being said,
Can we actually clear the corpses away from here into the water to get rid of them? Because these things are going to draw other creatures.
It's a smart thing to think of.
Yeah, I know what you're actually
You just want.
I mean,
But
I just don't want to see him anymore. But
Crosses into a source of water is contaminating it.
Okay.
What?
But that's going out, isn't it?
This drops to an underground river. So actually,
The
maybe-
party, and Jard makes that idea. It's a good idea. Does the
He's
party follow suit?
Crying while he's saying
Yeah,
it.
he's
but-
weeping and sobbing as the party discards the bodies and feeds them into the waterway, which will flush them out to the river, where probably some sort of monster will eat them or something. At least they're not just laying there. Because they're right, it'll bring carrion crawlers, all sorts of things, anything that can find its way. Hopefully there's not carrion crawlers in here, you guys are screwed. The battle is won. You walk away not having licked too many wounds. The sewers are safer? That's a weird sentence. The sewers are safer for the time being, but you're pretty sure this is not the source of your toxicity
Yeah, this is
and your poison. The party will have to move on. They will have to
But
press
all this
forward.
was the reason why your water person was.
Idea. Since we don't know which direction the poison is coming from, I could use detect poison again to see where the residue is.
You'll have to look up how much distance that gets to,
Okay.
but we are out of time for now. So it's this point that the party finds themselves in the sewers of New Thur. They've encountered their first battle together as a team. Some of their decisions afterwards are a little questionable, but maybe that comes with time spent together. There was lots of eating involved.
I didn't think it was questionable, so.
I mean, I didn't
It's
really
fine.
have a problem with it. People
You
start
felt
throwing
a
the
little
tied up,
bit bad?
conscious ones into the water. That's when I had a little bit of a problem with it.
So a little not too worse for wear. The party is going to press onwards to find what is poisoning the water supply of New Thur. Until next time.